Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Hold on.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't play, 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 play. Who don't? Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up the sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Shanghai. We have Umar Nurmagomedov going against Song Yadong. We are going back to China for a card that is starting at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am here with Uncle Weezy. What is up, Uncle Weezy? Are you looking forward to UFC Shanghai this Saturday?
I mean, do I have to be honest, or I don't know, dude? Not really, no. But it is what it is, man. It's a card. There's fights. It could turn out to be one of the best cards of the year. You just never really know how anything's going to turn out. Hey, man, you never know, dude. You never know. Some of these cards that we think are going to really stink will wind up having awesome fights, right? And if you make the right bets, you make a bunch of units on a card, then that's a memorable card as well. But in terms of what we're seeing here with our eyes, it's not great for starters. But let's try to, I don't know, man. Let's put some lipstick on this pig and get this one going here.
Let's do it. So I'm just posting this link on X.
Nice, dude. Bring in the people. It's UFC Shanghai. Let's get fired up. It's Jingnang Zhang fight week, and I cannot wait, man. You know, like, she put on one of the most memorable performances in recent memory in a UFC fight. I mean, like, there's fights that are memorable when fighters show heart, like we saw Hernandez and Rodriguez yesterday, like we saw with Dorsonville and Young yesterday. You know, and then there are performances where you just see like raw talent on display, like in somebody like an Anthony Wint yesterday. And then there's fights where shit's just funny, like hilarious, like as entertaining as any great stand-up comedy set, as any great classic comedy movie. That Jingnang Zhang versus Angela Hill fight was one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time. And I mean, she just got 7 shades of shit beaten out of her. And frankly, I can't wait to see her fight again.
Really? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
She looked awful, dude.
Yeah. Horrible. Yeah, but it was hilarious.
It was funny. It did provide some good comedy.
I mean, it's not good comedy. That was great comedy. I suggest you go back and you watch our watch along with that fight. I mean, we were having a great time. We were laughing our asses off. It was a truly funny time for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing that absolute train wreck in action again.
Yeah, so bad. But yeah, before we get into it, if you guys could do us a favor, smash the like button for us. Let's try to get at least 100 likes. I'm not sure if anybody's going to show up tonight because of this card. It's just rough. It's probably one of the most rough cards of the year. But like the video, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Sunday, 7:15 sharp. If you guys are watching on X, do me a favor, hit the retweet, hit the like on there. That helps out a ton as well. Let's get into the comment section. And yeah, you can also vote to see who needs to get help. I guess I forgot Larry and Douglas, so I'll end the poll, and I'll do it because a lot of people are really mad at Larry and Douglas too. So I'll end the poll and I'll do a new one. So we'll do so who needs to get help? Because I see a lot of people really mad at Larry and Douglas. Who needs to get help? We will do a friend of the show. Is it friend of the show or fan of the show? Roman Dolidze. I think fan. Is he a fan or a friend?
I've never talked to Roman before.
Never. I have.
I know you have. Yeah. I know I have not. So I don't know if I'm the one that's qualified to say that.
He's a friend of the show.
Okay, fair enough.
Roman Dolidze. We will go with Larian. What do they call him? Larian.
The gunslinger, right?
The gunslinger. That's right.
Yeah.
Gunslinger Douglas. We'll go Kennedy and Chukwu, and then we'll go Wes. Party time Schultz. Sorry, I got you guys. I'm the man of the people. We'll get Douglas up there for you, so you guys can vote to see who needs to get some help. All right, let's hit up the chat and then we'll do a quick recap. And we're gonna get through this kind of quickly tonight. How much action do you think you're gonna have on this card, Wheezy?
I mean, if it's more than 0, I'd be genuinely shocked. I'm flat out taking this week off, just so I can make it clear. We work very hard all year, putting together content. It's something that we take a lot of pride in. And the last week off was July 4th.
Oh,
So we started with McGregor Holloway on July 11th, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've done 7 cards in a row, and then we're going to Nurmagomedov's song. That's 8. Hooker Parnas is 9. Noche UFC is 10. Van Pantoja is 11. Rosas versus Barcelos is 12. UFC 332 is 13. October 10th is 14th. Buckley versus Mallet is 15. Volkanovski versus Evloev is 16. And then we got October 31st makes 17. November 7th, November 14th, November 21. That it's 20 consecutive cards with no breaks. 20
Crazy.
Consecutive weeks. The NFL regular season is only 18 weeks long, Brady. And those guys get 30 weeks off, so like I'm taking this week off. You can go to Shanghai and you could do it without your Uncle Wheezy. Now I'm gonna be here. I might even wake up in the middle of the night just because I feel so sorry for you, Brady, that you want to do this, watch along, because like it shows tremendous dedication on your part. So I mean, I might even join you for that. But yeah, it's one of those cards. They can make all the lines. They can put on the fights. I'm taking a week off. I'm regrouping. I am trying to build some things behind the scenes here to improve the content and my business going forward. And yeah, man, it's one of those cards, man. I'm not very excited about it, so I'm gonna give myself a week off and build up for next week because we got some really good cards coming up here.
Yeah, we do. My plan is so last night I kept it light. I'm planning on keeping it light this week and then keeping it light for Paris. So these I'm going to be like a 3-week stretch of just keeping it light. And then we got Noche, which is a phenomenal card. Yeah. And then we got UFC 331, which is a phenomenal card. So we're going to try to keep it very light these next couple of weeks and then maybe attack those better cards in a couple of weeks there. But yeah, with a 20-week stretch, Weezy, we're going to get cards like this. I looked ahead and saw there was an Apex card that makes this card look like the best card ever. So there's going to be some rough weeks, man. In these next couple 20 weeks, there's going to be some rough ones. But that's what's going to happen when they want, a card every single week. It's just crazy. But we got Elijah one. First one in the building. What is up? We got Meat Rocket in here. Good to see you, Meat Rocket. We got Evan saying, I'm surprised went 1. Chapman's only loss was against the GOAT, Myron Dennis. Yeah, it was. Myron. Nobody beats Myron Dennis ever.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Never.
We got Danny saying, needed RDR finish to cash a parlay for 1.2K. When Delidze pulled guard in 30 seconds, I started counting my money. I was laughing my ass off when Delidze pulled guard against Renier de Ritter. Like, that couldn't have possibly been the game plan, right? Like, oh my gosh. I mean, if that's the case, de Ritter should have been minus 10,000. The China card is absolute ass, but I'm going to still tune into the fight companion. I will be there. And Weezy may be there as well. I told him, don't even come. And like, you don't have to come.
I feel so bad for you, dude. Like I almost feel like I'd want to wake up and watch you do it by yourself and pretend to give a shit. Like, so I feel really obligated to be there, honestly.
Oh gosh. Well, it's gonna be awkward because I'm gonna be like pass every single fight. But I finished top 40 on Tapology. Congrats, man. That's huge. Only 0.5 units. I need some help. Hey, it's a winning night, man. It's a winning night, and it was a toughish card last night. I just finished taping this card just in time for the show. Wow, is it ever rough? It was so rough, man. It was so rough, man. I was up Friday night taping Ding Ming, and I looked in the mirror and I said, "What the hell am I doing with my life? This can't be healthy." Do something like that. I mean, taping Ding Ming on a Friday night. I should be out with friends.
Yeah.
I should be hanging out with my family, not taping Ding Ming. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
What are we doing? This China card looks like it's giving me premeditated herpes. Yeah. Did Lindsay get some help, brother? Yeah. $180,000 to pull guard and shell up.
Yeah.
$180,000 to pull guard and cover up. What?
He's got a lot of UFC fights, man, and that's when they start putting you out there that's when they start using you as an asset, Brady. Like once you've had a bunch of fights and they start having to pay you a bunch of money to show up, they're not going to waste it putting you out there against another, washed guy and pay you both $180,000 to put on a stink fest. They're going to use you to build up the rest of your assets if you want to keep showing up. It's basically why they fed Edson Barbosa to the Argentinian guy Ribovics last time. I mean, it was like we knew that was predatory matchmaking, but that's the UFC saying, "Hey, man, if we got to pay you six figures just to show up, we're going to use you as an asset and make sure that you get put out cold by somebody that we're trying to push." So they don't make it easy for these guys, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just wild. Who's ready for a 3 a.m. soy sauce slap down? I'm ready for it, man. We got Mighty saying Batbuyer has low-key good grappling. He might out-wrestle and get to the back of Lima. This card is so smelly. Oh, smell that? You smell it through the screen. Roman's done. Yeah, Roman's done. I thought he's been done since the Fluffy fight. This will be the deepest dive of the year. No, it's actually be the opposite of that. This will be the lightest dive of the year for sure. Elise Reed didn't make
walk into the pool feet first. If you dive in head first, you're going to crack your skull. We're not going deep on this one.
Yeah, I wish YouTube gave us like 6 options because Reed would be on there. Sergey Spivak would be on there. But no, everybody knows Reed needs help. She's horrible. No, we were on time. We were on time. Who would have guessed Greg Rodriguez for the milk of the week? Not I. I didn't think Rodriguez would milk Fluffy Hernandez. Not I at all. That was crazy. Hackbrast and Mason. Yeah, Mason Jones is another guy. We need like 2 lists this week for who needs to get help. Mason Jones certainly needs some help. And Hackbrast, he needs a little help too. Zhang fight week. Yes. No. I cannot believe. I gotta go back and watch our reactions to her saying no. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. Gosh. Does Larian have his we got to see Dixon. Dixon, what kind of profile picture do you have this time? We got AJ in the building. What's good, AJ? What's up, Stat Diggers? I'm ready to put 3 units on Julia Pilastri to beat no. Jingyang Zhang at 2 a.m. Pacific time. God help me. God help you. If we're laying minus 240 on Psycho Julia Pilastri. But Zhang looks so bad in her last fight, man. So bad. Half the card needs help. Agreed. I need help. No, we'll get you some help, Jeff. Official Vor, Stat Diggers needs help. No, we're always on time. Come on. Waking up at 3 a.m. to watch Road to UFC level card. I think we all need help. Yeah, what was the turnout last? I thought we had a pretty okay turnout. Like it started out slow and then it got better and better as the night went on. I think the turnout was pretty good for Perth and stuff.
Yeah,
on the fight
surprisingly good.
Yeah. Stat Digger's a little late today because Uncle Weezy is making honeymoon plans and Brother Brady is in an argument with the neighbor over mowing the grass at 6 a.m. this morning. Cops were called. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, we got Eileen Perez in the building. What's up, Eileen Perez? Good to see you in here. Get some help, Larry and Douglas. Get some help, Larry Wheels. Let's go. We got Kimbo in the building. First time in a while, I may have 0 units on this card. Yeah, last night was my lightest card of the year. This week might even be even lighter. There's like 3 spots I'm maybe looking at, but I'd be surprised I'd be shocked if I had more than 5 units on this card. Can we all agree that Bilal Hassan versus Nilson Rojas is the best fight on the Shanghai card? Incredible matchup. I would say it's up there for sure. It's a good card. My wallet got titty effed on Saturday. Oh, God. Which one of these Chinamen are getting their ass shaved? We got some options, man. We got some options. 3 a.m. Oh, God. God, help us. Let's dig some stats. Let's do it. Larian, Douglas needs some help. Yeah, not good. Is Kong Wong fighting on this card? No. I think I think she's fighting in the near future, though. I thought I saw she's booked for something. Lara needs help. Agreed. Douglas needs help. Agreed. We got Dr. Peener in the building. Howdy, fellas. So did Roman throw that shit or what? Yeah, he threw the fight. Simple as that. He pulled guard, covered up, and collected his $180,000 paycheck. Congratulations, Roman. That's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money. And this is a lot of money. Yes. We got a $5 dono from Brick Squad saying, enjoying a spliff on my roof, watching the sunset to the dulcet tones of Braden Weezy. Life is good. Also, how much of a beast is Stan Dorsonville? Dorsonville. Yeah, he's a beast, man. Me and Weezy really enjoyed that fight. We were going crazy. And it's a shame. It's a shame that they did not get fight of the night, because it was fight of the night, man. And Stan even said that he works at Home Depot or something. Get this man $100,000. What are we doing? And I called it. Everybody was talking fight of the night, and I'm like, Dana doesn't watch the prelims. Dana does not watch the prelims, so they got robbed, Weezy. And they give the fight of the night to Fluffy Rodriguez, which, don't get me wrong, it was a good fight, but I mean, that fight between Gage Young and Dorsonville was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's an absolute travesty to not give those two $100,000 bonus for that fight. There's no way that's not the best fight of the night. There is no way. There were some great performances on that card. Big shout out to Gregory Rodriguez, who put on an absolute show in the main event. Big shout out to Mark Helmederos, who put out, knocking out Mason Jones. Phenomenal performance. But there's no world where that wasn't the best fight of the night. Gage Young had Dorsonville dead in the second, and that dude came back and won the third round. I mean, what a performance by both of those guys. We were going nuts watching that. And yeah, I don't know in what world that one is not fight of the night, but it's typical of these guys. They don't even seem to enjoy their own sport anymore. I saw on Twitter today, somebody was videotaping Dana cage side, and he's watching that punk ass, so there's some celebrity boxing event, with not real fighters, and he's watching that cage side.
Well, to be fair, it was during the Petrino Spivak fight, but yeah, I saw that too.
Was it during the
Yeah, so I don't blame him. I almost turned it off too, so I don't blame him. But yeah,
that is a great comeback there. Yeah, it's okay. I got to apologize to Dana White then, because if it was during that fight, I would have been doing the same thing. But yeah, man, that Stan Dorsonville's performance there against Gage Young, both of them, big ups to both of them. That was a phenomenal fight.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for both guys, man. For both guys there. I don't think Stan's gonna be working at Home Depot for much longer if he keeps going out there and doing that, dude. Kennedy King Green, yeah. People are voting Douglas, but it's clearly Kennedy. Douglas got his orbital broken. Kennedy just decided to go out cold. Yeah, that was hilarious. Pacing was great last night. Great card. Yeah, we enjoyed the card. We had fun last night. It was a fun time. Weezy cashed a massive parlay. I cashed a couple bets, a takedown prop bet, which was fun. We had fun last night. Big W's to both lads. Big W's to you as well, my guy. Love the show. You guys are great. Let's go. Appreciate that. Got Chuckle in the building. What is up? What is up? Throw me in there for 180K. I can do that. Gosh. Oh, I couldn't believe, even though I even predicted he would, I still couldn't believe that it actually happened. I called the fight perfectly. He was going to play footsies with RDR, but I can't believe he actually did it though. It was crazy. I agree. It's literally the worst possible strat. You can't do that against RDR, who's the next level grappler. It was absolutely crazy. Oh gosh, can't wait to see all the emoting between Pilastri and Jing Yang. There's gonna be a ton, man. No. Crazy. Douglas and Jones put me in the effing poorhouse. Oh god. Fight companion this week. Yes, there will be a fight companion this week. I went 3 for 3 last night. Medeiros, Rodriguez, and Dorsonville. One of my best dog bet cards ever. Congrats, man. 3M card in China seems like a sex spot takeover in the chat. I hope not. I got rinsed on the China card last year, not touching this week. I actually finished up a little bit last year, and I didn't watch the card live last year. I kind of woke up and watched all the fights, and I think I had a small winning night. How was the card last night? It was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Thoughts on -500 Umar money line? Juice to the tits. Yeah, I won't be playing that. What, 5 units to win one? No, thank you. No, thank you. Rowan at least won some money. Larion threw that fight in his career for 12K. He'll be back, man. Larion Douglas will be back. This guy hits like a truck. The last China fight I saw, Cody Garbrandt's Dingus got kicked about 4 times. Very excited for this card. Me too. The Lidley was robbed. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
The UFC got robbed for paying him 180K. That's painful, man. That's a loss leader.
Yeah, Kennedy is apparently teaching kids now and at a new gym, doing his thing. He's a coach now. So all right. So what we'll do now is do a quick recap of last night, and I was extremely, extremely happy with how it played out. My night came down to the second fight of the night, which was horrifying. Jackson McVeigh, West Schultz. I had 2.5 units between 2 different parlays to close out 2 parlays on the under 1.5 in McVeigh Schultz, and we were watching the fight, and it was just the longer the fight went on, the more regret I started to feel putting any money on that fight. It's like the fight was not playing out how I expected it at all. I thought we'd see more clinching from McVeigh. I thought we'd see more takedown attempts from Schultz, and none of that was really happening at all. And they were kind of distance striking, which was the worst likely outcome if you're playing an under. And it looked like it was kind of going to soar over. And then boom, Jackson McVeigh lands a knee to the body. The party's over. The cops showed up. They said, everybody go home. It's getting late. We're getting calls from the neighbors, multiple noise complaints. That the party's officially over, and Jackson McVeigh canceled that party. So cashed the under 1.5 in 2 different parlays. That was huge, and I sealed a winning night after the second fight. Other than that, I didn't have a ton of action. I had 2 bets left. I had Carly Judice to win inside the distance at plus 130, and very happy with how I played that, because the old me would have took like a KO 2-3. I would have took like a KO 2-3, and I would have been pissed when she sparked her in a minute. So just played it safe, took the ITD. I was getting fraud vibes from Jesla Chavez, who's fought nobody, and when she took a step of a competition, she went life and death with Sofia Montenegro and went life and death with Eunice Duban. It's like, Carla Judice is on a completely different level. And we were calling it, live during the fight, Wheezy. It's like, she does not like these shots to the body. It was the very first one, and Chavez tried to have a poker face, but I saw right through it. And then she ended up finishing her to the body. Took her 1:39. So I was very happy with that. And then I took a small shot on RDR Delidze. Fight ends by submission, because I figured Delidze would be playing footsies, and they'd be on the mat. And I was right about that. But Delidze just kind of quit and covered up, and there really wasn't many opportunities for a sub there. So probably should have just played RDR inside the distance. But I was really happy with how last night played out. Up almost 3 units tracked on a card that I barely bet. My lightest card of the year. Did really good untracked. Had a sprinkle on Gaziv KO1 at plus 300. Had a sprinkle on McVeigh round 1 at plus 170. Had a sprinkle on Fluffy live at like plus 340 after round, I think, 2. Was it after round 2 or round 3? But he was like plus 340 and kind of looked like he was turning the tides, and then kind of just like went out there in round 4 and struck a distance. So, and then I had a pretty decent sized bet on Went to have 1 takedown, and Went to get more takedowns at plus 150 and plus 200. Shout out to Liam for that. So yeah, great night tracked, great night untracked. Everything went great. I mean, no complaints. Literally no complaints for me last night on a card that was pretty fun overall. So, Wheezy, how'd last night go for you?
It was my 3rd straight up week, Brady. Absolutely slayed the bookies, up 0.02 units. I mean, who does that? That's pretty phenomenal if you think about it. But I made some ass bets again, and it's a shame. I had a 1/4 unit on Elise Reed to win by decision.
Hey,
I love the number.
That was close.
Plus 1,100, but obviously that didn't hit. And then I also had 1 unit on the over 2.5 rounds for Reed versus Dyer. Reed got her ass kicked, but she still was only less than a minute away from cashing that, but she was a punching bag for most of that fight there. So Chanel Dyer really put on a great performance. I didn't think that she'd be able to finish her inside of 2.5 rounds, but she was able to do that. So that was a 1.25 unit loss on that fight. And I've had a sick fetish for a long time of losing money on Kennedy and Zechiku. I really get off on it, Brady. We've all got our own sick things in life that we like. The cameras aren't always on us. We do things off camera that you guys know nothing about. And this is just something I want to share with everybody, that this is what I like to do. Nobody can tell me to stop either. I'll be on Kennedy the next fight. And then on the Fight Companion, when I say I'm going to the bathroom, I'm actually going someplace else to do something else, which is what I did yesterday. But 1.5 units on Kennedy and Zechiku. And I mean, if he would have just lost, Brady, it wouldn't have been as exciting for me. But for him to have both hands down at his knees, trying to move his head while he just gets absolutely punted into the cheap seats by Shamil Gaziev, it made my climax that much more satisfying. That was one of my favorite Kennedy and Zechiku losses of all time. And I'm telling you, I really enjoyed myself with that. So that was 1.5 units. It was a small price to pay for the climax that I received from that loss. I also lost money on my favorite fighter, Fluffy Hernandez. I had Fluffy to win and over 1.5 rounds in that fight. It was a great way to get the price from like -200 down to like -110. And after, the end of round 2, I'm like, all right, he's down 2 rounds to nothing, but he ended round 2 with that massive flurry. And I'm like, he's going to start rolling downhill. And he went out there and he won round 3. And I'm like, I was rubbing my hands together. I'm like, he's going to break him, dude. He's going to get a takedown in the 4th and he's going to break this dude, because Rodriguez slows down late in fights. But what an effort. What an effort by Gregory Rodriguez. He was able to fight at Hernandez's pace for 5 rounds, destroyed that lead leg, landed some great body shots, and stuffed takedown after takedown after takedown, got back up when he did get taken down. So that was the Anthony Hernandez I wanted to bet on, Brady. I got the guy that I wanted to bet on. I just didn't think that Gregory Rodriguez would be able to handle that pace for 5 rounds, and he was able to do that. So kudos to Rodriguez, man. He dug deep to get that win, to go out there and win round 4 against Fluffy Hernandez after trying to stuff like 25 takedowns up to that point in the fight. Good on him. So those were the losing bets. I think that's all the losing. Yeah, those were all the losing bets. I had 1 unit on Jackson McVeigh to win in round 1. It was looking really bad up until it wasn't, cashed that for 1.85 units. I had 1.5 units on the Padilla finish only prop, and he finishes it with 1 second left in the fight. So that was a nice cash, but it was a great read. Hackprass was nowhere close to finishing Taco. We knew that Taco was somebody who was going to put on that pressure and find some of those moments. And he found the moment late in the fight and was able to find the finish. So that was a win of 1.3 units. And then my probability parlay was the under 1.5 rounds for Schultz McVeigh and Barbosa Cuse. That hit at 1.11 units. So it was up 0.02 units. But because I bet on Kennedy and I knew what his loss condition was going to be, and that would be a first round KO, I put that in my take this job and shove it parlay this week, Brady. Leg 1, Jackson McVeigh to win in round 1, plus 185. Check. Leg number 2, Shamil Gaziev to win in round 1 by KO at plus 390.
Check.
Leg 3, in one of the most exciting fights of the year, Vitor Petrino to win by decision at plus 310. So I think when I gave it out, it was like plus 5,800 or something like that. Wow. I saw my guy Michael in my Discord put an unreasonable amount of money on the take this job and shove it parlay this week, and he won a ton of cash. Dang. So I was always glad to see some of my subscribers profit from that. But yeah, that cashed it better than plus 5,600, I believe. And I put a quarter unit on it. So even though I basically broke even on my track bets, and my picks weren't great this week, man. I was 7-6 on picks. That's no good. Ass shaving of the week was Hernandez. He didn't get the job done. Dog of the week was Kennedy. He didn't get the job done. And that was like that's just funny. Sometimes you're gonna make a bet like that, and it's just gonna look that bad, dude. Hands down below his waist, trying to move his head, and just gets nuked. So it wound up being a great day, though. Like I like 15 units untracked on the Take This Job and Shove parlay. Hit it big, and that was huge. So I'll take it, man.
Yeah, I thought I had a good untracked day, but you tripled me up. Tripled me up in untracked betting action. It would have been maybe like a 10 unit untracked night if Fluffy would have freaking won round 4. Like I couldn't believe the game plan from Fluffy in round 4. Strike at distance for 5 minutes. That was infuriating, but it was such a fun fight. That fight was crazy, dude. That fight was absolutely crazy. And yeah, Kennedy, we've been saying it since he very first came into the UFC. It's like he's got the size, he's got the volume, the cardio. We thought the durability. He's going to put it together one of these days. He's at a good gym in Fortis, and he just never put it together. And I think we can all agree Kennedy will never, ever put it together, ever. You know, he's training with Greg Hardy now. He's, a coach. He's training little kids. Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to put it together. So, Lizzie makes 180K. Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him. The kids are going to make fun of Kennedy in jiu-jitsu class for getting clapped by Big Meal. Oh, gosh. Hernandez has negative punching power. Each punch actually wakes his opponent up a little bit. But no, he was landing flush elbows on the face, on the chin of Gregory Rodriguez, and Rodriguez just ate him like it was nothing. We couldn't believe our eyes, Uncle Weezy. We were like, go down, Gregory. Go down, please. Please.
Dude, he was landing the bigger shots to the head. It was Rodriguez was beating up Hernandez to the body and to the legs, but Hernandez was nuking this dude to the head. I mean, like he was eating all the big shots to the head. He was stuffing all the takedowns. He kept he looked dead after round 1. Rodriguez looked tired after round 1. He put his hands up on the cage and he was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Oh, we're going to cook him." Nope. What a performance.
I felt like a genius getting Fluffy Hernandez live after he survived round 2.
Yeah.
At plus 340, the line flipped to like Hernandez was the favorite. And then I don't know what happened. I mean, Rodriguez got a second wind out of nowhere. It was a crazy, crazy fight. UFC Shanghai May card, Umar Yadong, Jean Janan, Denise Gomes, Asakur, Richie Long, Rodriguez. Oh, they put the Rodriguez fight on the main card? Ugh. Bilal Hassan, Nelson Rojas. What a garbage main card. Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad. Anyone else thinks Carly is hot? I think she's crispy, man. I think Carly Reese is very, very crispy. I'll say that. Who's watching Shanghai at 3 a.m.? I will be there. Uncle Weezy may be there. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. We got Narco in the building. What is up, Narco? And yeah, me, Narco, and Liam absolutely killed it on the Lambo Plays podcast. I know Narco hit up like a plus 800 on Jamal Emmers by knockout. I had a couple good ones like Dyer, KO 2-3. And Liam called a very nice takedown prop on Wint, which I think made a lot of people some money. So yeah, we absolutely killed it as a trio. Shout out to Liam, shout out to Narco. I met Wes walking around at downtown Sacramento after the fights last night. Seems like a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I bet he was heading out to a party or something. Wes Schultz seems cool, man. Fluffy looked like a shit stain. It was crazy. Yeah, I think something's wrong with him. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Weezy. Well, it's probably not a surprise, but Fluffy in his interview said, "Oh, I had a shoulder injury."
Shoulder injury? Yeah. I did see a big bag of ice on his shoulder after the fight, and Rodriguez was in a damn wheelchair. His leg was hurt, and I'm like, boy, it didn't look like it in the damn fight. Like, it would look like Hernandez was the one that was getting his. But I noticed like a couple of those kicks, dude. Hernandez was checking them. He checked a few of them, and I think some of those hurt Rodriguez just as badly as they hurt Hernandez. But because Hernandez landed so many on the calf that Hernandez's leg was the one that gave out first. I mean, both of those guys are warriors. That was such a good main event.
Yeah, it was. Fluffy just can't stay healthy, it seems like. Apparently, he was hurt in the fight against Strickland. Came in hurt to this fight as well. I think we might be seeing the end of Fluffy. We got Stonewall saying, my grandfather died this weekend. It was heartbreaking. Tough weekend for me. Sorry to hear that, Stonewall. But making it home to watch RoboCop win by decision is so much to digest. Yeah, that was the least likely outcome, I thought. You know, I thought, yeah, Rodriguez can knock him out. And I picked Rodriguez, but I picked him by first round KO. I thought he could knock him out. Maybe a club and sub, but decision? I was shocked that Rodriguez won a decision, you know? I could see Fluffy winning a decision. That was like the least likely outcome in the fight. It was just crazy. I led bet Fluffy plus 1100 to cover my RoboCop parlays. Yeah. Crazy, man. We got Truth Hurts with a $9.99 dono saying, let's go stat diggers. Love the breakdown and banter between you two. Some of the reads both of y'all have made and helped me cash nicely recently. Appreciate that, Truth Hurts, for the $9.99. It's been a phenomenal last 4.5, 5 months. The first couple weeks were rough, but looks like things are back to normal, which is freaking awesome. Kennedy has been on my never bet list since 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, for me, it was the OSP fight. After the OSP fight, I said, I'm done with you, Kennedy. I'm done with you, Kennedy. I mean, that was all. He lost as like a minus 600 favorite. Kennedy needs help, but technically he didn't give up. No, the Roman fight legitimately pissed me off. It kind of pissed me off too. It's like he just pulled guard and covered up. It was crazy. And oh my gosh, we got a $100 dono from the man himself, Narco Cop, saying, thank you, Brady, for the late replacement in back-to-back weeks. This man came in on short notice in back-to-back weeks and delivered 2 finishes. Unheard of in the MMA world. Appreciate that, Narco Cop. Yeah, we had a fun time. We had a very fun time, me, you, and Liam. And I told Narco, anytime, any place, just not Shanghai. Just not Shanghai, Narco. Any other week, just not Shanghai. It's so bad. But yeah, appreciate you, Narco. That means a lot, my guy. Seriously, anytime, I'll be down to come on for sure. Yeah, shout out Narco. Sue Lee as a chump. Petrino fight was so exciting. It's exciting for your Uncle Weezy. That's for sure.
It was, dude. I loved it, man. I needed Petrino decision, and when they fought like a couple of guys that were on lewds, you know, I was like, oh, this is great. This is working out beautifully.
Carly is the taken lesbian. Is she? Oh, okay. But yes, I would let her kick you in the liver. I don't know about that.
Yeah, why?
Carly, yeah, I don't know. Carly is so hot. She's like a skinny meth head, but hot. Okay. I made it. Heck yeah. What's the good Iceland forest? What's good? Narco said, I need you this week. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh, ask your uncle.
He knew he had to make the dono. That's why he's like, dude, if I don't give these guys $100, there's no way Brady's coming on my show.
No, Clint actually asked me a couple weeks ago to do his show. I said yes, but I didn't realize how bad the card is. So I actually got to do Clint's show tomorrow. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Well, I guess Narco's doing a Thursday show at 3 a.m. to accommodate to the China time.
Call you at 2 a.m. Brady, you gotta help me out.
That'd be freaking hilarious. All right. So last week we got back on track. Yes. So last week the piping of the week was Anthony went to pipe Terrence Chapman. It wasn't a piping, it was a milking. But you know, at the end of the day, Wint got it done. And we would like to see him, put Chapman out unconscious with strikes, but hey, we got the job done. This was the definition of a milking, though. Renier de Ritter to milk Roman Dolidze. Dolidze kind of milked himself there, but yeah, de Ritter just got on top and pounded away. The referee waited a little bit too long to stop it. It was kind of weird. Like Dolidze literally was blatantly quitting, like Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. And then the ref finally stopped the fight after, 100 unanswered strikes to the head. And the milking of the week was perfect. This is what we're looking for milking of the week. Let's see who needs to get help, Weezy.
Yeah.
It's very close. So believe it or not, Weezy.
Okay.
Over 100 votes. In last place at 2%, which means like 2 people voted for this man.
Yeah.
Wes Party Time Schultz. People think Wes doesn't need help. Okay.
All right.
In third place, a man that lost as a minus 400 favorite. got hit in the eye and covered up. Larian, the gunslinger, Douglas, 27%. In second place, we got friend of the show, another guy that covered up and quit, Roman Dolidze at 34%. And then in first place, Kennedy Nzechukwu at 37%. Congratulations, Kennedy Nzechukwu. You, my friend, need to get some help. Congrats.
Yeah, I need to get some help for betting on him. But luckily, I realized my mistake about halfway through the week, and I was like, all right, I'm hedging in the take this job and shove it parlay with a first round Gaziev KO. So that cashed me 14 units. So I mean, it wound up making me some money, but losing me some money on my track bet. So yeah, Kennedy, time to get some help, man. Like you either it's time. It's time. You've got to go to a real fucking camp. You've got to go to somebody that can teach you something. And it's time to shit or get off the pot, nephew, because with your height, your reach, your conditioning, your ability to be able to wrestle and grapple and strike, you should be. I mean, what the hell was that hands down bullshit? I mean, like everyone's talking about like how he's King Green, like King Green made that shit work. That didn't work for Kennedy. Head movement ain't your thing, nephew. It's kind of crazy, dude. Like you watch the Dawoon Jung fight, and he's walking forward like a zombie with his wrists in front of his face, and then he gets knocked out by elbows. And then now he's doing the complete opposite. Instead of being in a Philly shell, he's got his hands down like he's Bobby fucking Green. You're not Floyd Mayweather. No, come on, man. What the hell, dude?
Just terrible. Absolutely abysmal. Just abysmal. Yeah, I hope I don't get a DM from Roman. And I haven't said anything mean. I said what I said. I'm saying the truth. He covered up and quit. I'm not saying anything that nobody else is saying. He pulled guard and covered up. So I'm not being mean about it. And he doesn't care. I mean, he's probably on a yacht somewhere. This guy just made 180K to not do anything. So, but yeah, shout out Roman Dolidze, fan of the show. All right, guys, I say we get into it here. I say we get into it. we might need a new who needs to get help segment, and then beyond help segment. We might need a couple different segments, man. But let's get into this card. We got a couple fights to break down here. We got Ding Ming versus Cameron Nelson. We got Ding Ming, 31 years old, 6'2" with a 73-inch reach. We got Cam Nelson, 28 years old. Cam Nelson's going to be 3 years younger. Ding Ming is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Jose Souza. Lost that fight by decision. As far as Cam Nelson, he is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. So I have not done this in a while, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. I haven't done it in so long that I actually lost my banner. So I got to make a new banner.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to put it up here. There we go. There it is. That is the PSA of the week. This is the 1-800-GAMBLER fight, maybe of all time. Because on one hand, you got Cameron Nelson, who is making his debut here. And I'm watching this guy fight, and I kid you not, Wheezy. I think it was his last fight. He fought like a 40-year-old, and he knocks this 40-year-old out. Okay, he knocked out a 40-year-old, and then he fights a 38-year-old, and this 38-year-old, he says he's like 5'6", he's like 5'1", and this 38-year-old is fought as low as a bantamweight, and Cam Nelson is a welterweight, and he knocks this bantamweight out. So, I mean, Cam Nelson's fought some of the worst competition I've ever seen in my entire life, But yeah, looking at Cam Nelson, you can tell like he's solid. He's got solid hands. He's got power in his hands. It seems like he has some skills. It's just against who he's fought such bad competition. And then on the flip side, it's like Ding Ming, he has like 5 times the experience, but Ding Ming is one of these guys who's just a heavy bag. He's a heavy bag. He's a marauder. He gets hurt, he gets back up and marauds forward. I don't think he has a ton of skills outside of being tough, outside of marauding. So, just from the eye test, it looks like Cam Nelson is probably the better fighter, but, Ding Ming is a lot more tested. So this fight is at about a pick'em, slight lean to the punching bag and Ding Ming. I mean, if you bet this fight, God help you. If you put money on Cam Nelson, who's fighting 40-year-old bantamweights, God help you. If you put money on a Chinese punching bag and Ding Ming at chalk, God help you. God help God help us for having to break down this disaster of a fight, Wheezy. I think the matchmaker should be highly, highly ashamed of themselves here.
Yeah, was this Nelson guy the original opponent, or did they have somebody else for Ding?
I don't even know. There's been so many, I can check. There's been so many late
Yeah,
notice stuff
I'm
for
gonna
this
look
card.
too. I'm on the Tapology right now. So
No, they brought this guy in here, Wheezy. They brought him in
wow,
here. Yeah.
dude, because I went, sometimes whenever there's a fighter you haven't heard of, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to go and wiki cap them, right? And when you wiki cap Cam Nelson, he's 7-1. He's got 2 knockouts. He's got 3 submissions. He's been to decision 3 times. He's 2-1. You're like, oh, pretty cool. All right. He's fighting in an organization called FLA. I'm like, what? This guy's Canadian and he's fighting in Florida? And then I click on FLA and it's Fight League Atlantic and it's a Nova Scotia promotion. And then I look at the most recent fight. I'm like, okay, Luis Guerrero. I've seen this guy before. I click on the Tapology profile. I'm like, I've seen this guy fight. All right, let's see where. Okay, he's fighting Juan Diaz in Lux Fight League at bantamweight.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Vince Morales in Tough Enough at bantamweight. And that's where I had seen the fights because I taped Morales and saw him fight this guy. I'm like, wait a second. I thought this guy was a fucking welterweight. He is. He's a welterweight. And what's crazy is like normally when you're in a promotion that I've never even heard of, right? Which is FLA. Like you'll get if you're a dude with a pulse, you'll get a title fight like immediately. And your title fight might even be against somebody that's 0-0,
Oh.
This guy has 8 fights in FLA, Brady. 8.
Oh.
And they didn't give him a title shot until his 8th fight. And when they gave him a title shot for the welterweight belt, it was against the bantamweight. And, you just sit there, you shake your head, you go, what the fuck is going on here? Are they trolling us? They're sending a guy from Nova Scotia all the way to China to fight a 45-fight veteran that's a marauder. I mean, like, I don't know what the hell is going on here, dude. I mean, how did this guy get signed? I'm sure he's probably a solid enough fighter, but the last time we saw somebody like this with a purely Canadian regional scene resume, it's 2 different guys. It's Jamie Siraj.
Oh.
And who was the guy who got his ass shaved? Julian LeBlanc.
Oh.
And those guys, Brady, were fighting in a Canadian organization that I had heard of. There's BFL, and there's another one that starts with a B, I think. I don't know. Whatever it is. This organization, FLA, I've never even heard of it. Like it's below the organizations that are Canadian organizations where we're just straight fading these dudes. This is a worse organization than those guys are coming out of. So it's pretty funny, dude. I mean, I think Meng Ding's going to probably win this fight because this guy's never fought outside of Nova Scotia. He's got to fly all the way to Shanghai. Like they're not bringing him in to win this fight. It doesn't really mean anything, but still, I mean, what's the line on this?
It was a pick'em, which I think it should be a pick'em, but Ding Ming is currently -130, opened up +115. Cam Nelson opened up -135, currently +110. So it's God help anybody betting on this one. Do you want to bet Cam Nelson, who's fought the worst competition imaginable, or do you want to bet somebody whose best attribute is being a punching bag? I don't know. It's tough, man. It's very tough. The over/under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is -116. The under 2.5 is -105. It's gonna be very tough to finish Ding Ming. I actually kind of think this fight might go over, but I mean, it's such a low level fight, man. That I would be shocked if I put anything on this fight. So yeah, big giant pass for me on this one. and it should be a big giant pass for anybody on this one. God help us. Brady, I don't think we need to get into this card. I mean, I agree. We don't really need to. A Chinese can crusher versus a Canadian can crusher. Oh, Cam Nelson to shave the yellow ass of Ding Ming. Oh, God. Play the under 2.5. I will not be playing anything in this fight. I don't know. I don't know where they're finding these guys. Like it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Cam Nelson's wiki. He's not on Wikipedia. Already checked. We got Colton G Jr. with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, Colton G Jr. He says, putting all the bail money from my dad on Ding. He's gonna hit this Canadian so hard he'll think he's back in the sugar house making maple syrup. So that's not good, Wheezy. I can't have Colton G Senior getting out of prison. So it looks like I need a root for Cam Nelson this week. Let's go, Cam Nelson. We can't get Colton G out, man, because him and his goons will try to pipe me on site.
They're going to be uttering threats for sure.
Nelson is another Julian LeBlanc. I don't think anybody's as bad as Julian LeBlanc, but I mean, Nelson actually looks like decent. It's just he's fought such bad competition.
Yeah.
We got Best Ball Bobby saying, thanks for the calls again this week. I've been smoking the bookies the last 3 months. Hashtag Parlay Boys Summer. Parlay Boys, stand up. Enjoy the pool. Come in. Enjoy it while you can, because football is about to start in a little bit. We got Eileen Pressing. I think Ding Ming's the side here. Fight doesn't go decision might finally come through. So Nelson got dropped on the amateur scene, chin way up. Both these guys can get dropped. I mean, Ding Ming's gotten dropped like 100 times. The problem is he gets dropped, but then he gets right back up. You got to kind of kill him. He's like Michael Myers. You got to kind of kill him to get him out of there. Can Nelson grapple and milk the Ding? He's not going to grapple. He's a striker. I didn't get a YouTube notification. Come on, YouTube. Get some help.
Yeah.
Get some help, man. Bing Bang Bong versus Bing Bang Bang will be a barn burn. I don't think either of those guys are on this card. I let her stomp my toes. Harley Judice. Oh, gosh.
Okay.
We got the solution in the building. What is up? What is up? Play the under. One of these bums will get finished. Shout out Nova Scotia. Shout out. I'm down another 100 units. I can't help but parlay boy away all my money. Larry and Root on my parlays. Everything else went perfect. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be Zhang Xingyang going against Julia Pilastri. We got Zhang Xingyang, 38 years old, 5'4" with a 63-inch reach. Julia Pilastri, 28 years old, 5'2" with a 63-inch reach. Pilastri, 10 years younger. Zhang Xingyang with a 2-inch height advantage, and they got the same reach there. Zhang Xingyang made her debut against Angela Hill, lost that fight by decision. As far as Julia Pilastri, she is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. She had a decision win against Corey McKenna, a decision loss to Josephine Knudsen, a decision loss to Lupi Godinez, knockout loss against Karolina Kovacevic, and then a decision loss against Talita Alencar. So I think Zhang Xingyang went out there, Wheezy, and put on one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my entire life. We were literally laughing at this bitch. I mean, she looked awful, and she was a champion and won, and people were hyping her up. People were sucking her dick, and she looked like the worst, literally the worst fighter I've ever seen in my entire life. She threw technique out the window. She was getting whooped over the course of 15 minutes, and what really rubbed me the wrong way was, she would get hit and clipped hard with an elbow or a knee, and every time she did, she'd say, no, no, no. No, 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 no. And we're like, what do you mean, no, no, no? You clearly got hit, Zhang Xingyang. How dumb do you think we are? How dumb do you think the judges are? She's like, no, no, no. And then remember, after the decision was read, we saw her go up to Angela Hill and go, no, no, no. What's wrong with this chick, man? What's wrong with her? So, yeah, I mean, that was about as bad as a debut as you're going to get. And at the end of the day, she's like 1 win in the last 4 years. She's 38 years old at strawweight. So, yeah, very, very low on Zhang Xingyang. I wish that this fight was before the Hill fight, because I kid you not, if this fight was before the Hill fight, Zhang would probably be a favorite here, because there was hype surrounding her for some reason.
Yeah.
But now we have to lay a disgusting minus 255 on Julia Pilastri, who also went out there, Wheezy, and crapped the bed in her last fight. I was very disappointed with Julia Pilastri in her last fight when she went out there and took on Talita Alencar. And in that fight, you know, I was hyping her up, calling her a psycho, and she just didn't bring that psycho out, you know, the entire time. You know, she was content to just, you know, kind of keep the distance striking competitive somehow. Got taken down a couple times. It kind of just got outworked, you know, kind of just didn't get started the entire time against Talita Alencar. So I don't know, Weezy. I mean, as bad as Zhang Jingnong looked in her debut, I don't know if I can lay minus 250 on Pilastri. If she goes out there and comes in with the same game plan that she came out there with Alencar with, she's probably going to lose the fight. What she needs to do is get the fight in the clinch, where she's going to have a big advantage with the knees and the elbows. She's very good in the clinch. What she needs to do is, you know, even mixing the takedowns here, especially where she's going to have a big advantage, and then just pressure and show some dang urgency. There was zero urgency in the Alencar fight. So yeah, I like Pilastri here. I just they're kind of pricing me out of it a little bit. So yeah, another pass for me. That's why I kind of left the 100 gambler up there. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna agree with your breakdown because I feel like minus 250 is missing a zero. You know, like I feel like after what we saw last time, like Pilastri should probably be like minus 2,500. You know, a lot of times when there's a close fight and somebody, you know, obviously one of the fighters is going to win a split decision or something like that. The other one's going to go up to them and be like, "Nah, you didn't win that." And the person's going to be like, "Hey, man, you know, I'm not a judge," and they'll hug it out. Zhang Jingnang going up to Angela Hill and shaking her finger in her face after getting probably 26th in that fight was, and then Angela Hill just laughing at her was one of the funniest things I remember of this year, dude. It was hilarious. Like I even picked Jing Nan to win that fight. I thought she was going to win that fight. Angela Hill's 42. She made Angela Hill look like prime Anderson Silva out there. She was sticking and moving. She's landing kicks. The jab is popping her head back. Like she was trying weapons she hadn't tried in 10 years, Brady, and everything was landing. It was an absolute masterclass by a washed 42-year-old fighter with a ton of miles on the engine. Julia Pilastri is 28 years old. You know, and I think that she's probably the better grappler here. She's the better striker. There's nothing that she's better at. I mean, like she's way more intelligent. And we wouldn't say that about anybody for Pilastri, anybody else in the division, but like Pilastri is just better everywhere than Jing Nan is right now. Like that performance shows that when you're coming off of certain regional scenes in women's MMA, like you're just not ready for this level. You know, and that was something that was very, very clear in that fight. We haven't seen Angela Hill put on a performance like that, Brady. I mean, I don't know ever. What was the significant strikes there? I mean, I think she tripled her up, dude.
Yeah, 122 to 68.
Okay, wow, that's generous. I mean, it was 43 to 21 in body strikes, dude. And what's hilarious? 77 to 33 in significant head strikes. I mean, like I say, if you're going out there and you're landing head strikes at almost 60%,
Oh god,
you're looking like Anderson Silva. I'm telling you, man, it was wild. So yeah, I mean, I think Pilastri is just gonna run through her, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I think Pilastri wins. I don't want to lay minus 250 because if this goes to decision, which it will, the over is minus 350. We could get some shenanigans, you know. Zhang Jingnong will be the hometown fighter, and like I said, Pilastri showed literally zero urgency in her last fight. So hopefully she actually tries this time. If she does, it should be a very easy matchup for her. I agree. Pilastri minus 255, Zhang Jingnong plus 210, over set at 2.5. Like I said, the over is juiced to minus 350 here. See, I couldn't believe how bad Zhang Jingnong looked in her debut. It was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Julian LeBlanc versus, I saw that Gilbert Urbina is going to get on a win streak, Uncle Weezy. Gotta love it.
Can't believe that.
Got to love it. Who gives an F about this slop fight? I will not be betting this one, that's for sure. House on Pilastri, I don't care. There we go. What it do? No. No. A house on Zhang. Okay, so one of these guys is going to lose their
Have
house.
fun with that, man.
There was somebody on the Fight Companion last night that bet their booty that Mason Jones was going to win. They actually bet their booty to their sports book. He said bet the mortgage, the house, and even his booty that Mason Jones would win, and Mason Jones lost. Yikes. Putting my entire check on Pilastri. God, when people say these things, it typically goes wrong. You can't say these things, guys. You're jinxing yourselves. This is a good point, though. Julia Pilastri has one of the more impressive WikiFeet scores. So impressive that she might even find her way up on WikiFeet of the year. 4.89.
Oh,
WikiFeet
wow.
score. Yeah, so she's got some very impressive feet. And although Zhang Jingnong does not have a rating, I don't think it's probably anywhere near 4.89.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably on Shaq's level when it comes to feet. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna look good.
Yeah. Alan Carr's the GOAT. Don't act like losing to her is a bad look. No, losing to her is not a bad look. I just don't like when fighters go out there and do nothing. Like she went out there and looked like Joel Alvarez for 15 minutes. I just don't personally like that, especially when she's a psycho. Go out there and be a psycho. Don't Joel Alvarez it and spar for 15 minutes. We got Blom Dog in the building. What is up? What is up? And next up on the card we have oh god. Come on, dude. We've all lost our booty. No, I've never bet my booty, and I never will. That's just not something I want to do. So let's move on to the next fight. And we have clicking on the wrong thing there. There we go. All right, we have Lawrence Louis going against Hector Santiago. We got Lawrence Louis, 30 years old, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. Hector Santiago, 33 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. We got Louis 3 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Lawrence Louis is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had that decision win on the contender, or not the contender, in his debut against Sulan Grangbo, and then he had a couple road to UFC fights as well. As far as Hector Santiago, he'll be making his debut. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. So I was actually really impressed with Hector Santiago. Apparently, this guy's a former kickboxing champion. And yeah, he has really good pressure, a lot of power, a lot of knockouts on the record. He is 33 years old, and he's a massive dog here. And I think the reason he's a massive dog is because you look at Lawrence Louis. This guy's a city kickboxing guy, so he has the striking. But what else he has is the wrestling and the grappling. And he's a very good wrestler. He just got his brown belt in BJJ, so we're looking at, like, if this was a striking fight, this line is so off that it's not even funny. Like, if these guys are forced to strike for 15 minutes, I'd be all over Hector Santiago at plus 250. But as far as I'm concerned, Weezy, this is an MMA fight, and Louis will grapple and can grapple, and he should in this fight. And if he does, I have a funny feeling he's going to have a significant advantage against Hector Santiago, who I've seen just nothing from off his back. I've seen no grappling from him whatsoever. I saw him get into a scramble once, but that's about it. So I'm guessing Louis is going to grapple here, and if he does that, he probably does pay off this price tag of minus 300. But if he goes out there and stands and bangs, it's a 50-50 fight, if not favoring Santiago, who's a very good striker. But yeah, give me Louis to grapple here. Minus 300. It's a tough click. It's another kind of a wide line here. But I do trust this guy to grapple because he's done it so much. He did it in his debut. I think he got 8 takedowns against Sulan Grangbo. So yeah, I'm leaning Louis here. It's just not a dude I really want to parlay at minus 300 though. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was a plus 230 underdog versus Sulan Grangbo, who's 19 years old, I'm pretty sure, Brady. So we're going from being a plus 230 underdog just one fight ago against a completely green fighter who was fighting on the Chinese regional scene to now being minus 300 against Hector Santiago. And it's 2026, Brady. We don't put our money on grapplers anymore.
True.
How did Hernandez work out for the people who thought he was going to make them some money by grappling? What about Mason Jones and his fight IQ shooting 0 takedowns and not using the grappling advantage that he had in that fight? Let's talk about another person yesterday that didn't use their grappling that could have. Who was it? Oh, goddamn. Now I got to go look at the stats here.
Nobody grapples anymore, Weezy. Nobody. There's thousands of examples. That bum on the Contender Series in week 1. Nobody grapples anymore.
Oh yeah, so it was Mason Jones, it was Sergey Spivak. How many takedowns did he get against Vitor Petrino? You know, everyone's talking how good of a wrestler he is. I tried telling everybody, the guy's not a wrestler, man. He's a judo guy. There's a big fucking difference, you know.
But he got out judoed though by
He did get
Petrino.
out judoed by that's kind of crazy because Petrino got 4 takedowns on him. So
Oh
yeah,
God.
if you were waiting for Spivak to grapple, you got served. If you were waiting for Hernandez to win minutes with his grappling, you got served. If you were waiting for Mason Jones to grapple, you got served. If you were hoping that Wes Schultz was going to take down Jackson McVeigh, beat him grappling, you got served. And now we're going to lay minus 300 on an Australian wrestler to go out there and wrestle. I mean, you know, this could be a great spot to back the dog. Back the dog. He's going to strike. He's going to be on the front foot. If he stuffs the takedowns here, he might win by KO. So, but you know, this guy probably hasn't fought the best names, and he is coming off of a loss at the end of 2025, and the wins aren't really over noticeable names. So definitely an interesting fight, but I'm telling you, man, in 2026, I'm not laying juice on somebody because I think they're going to grapple.
Yeah, if he doesn't grapple, I mean, I don't. It's not gonna look minus 300 because I think Louis, like, although he's a city kickboxing guy, he kind of looks uncomfortable on the feet at times. Like he's been hurt a lot. I think he's kind of chinny as well, so he better be grappling here, or you might blow this as a big favorite. So you just caution everybody, Louis, to look minus 300. He needs to grapple, and if he does, you got to think he has an astronomical advantage down there against a kickboxer with only 7 pro MMA fights. So, yeah, I guess it comes down to the fight. The only person we can really count on to grapple Weezy is Juliana Killer Miller. That's the only person.
She got the job done, and yeah, and I mean it was against Ravenna Oliveira, so there was just a massive, you know, hole in that defense there. So she used it, and you know, even Oralby went out there and grappled before he got caught in that ninja choke. So some people will grapple. Makachev won rounds 1 and 2 with grappling, and then he had to get it round 5. He had to get to the back in order to win that fight against Ian Gary. So yeah, man, you know, like we can count on certain people to grapple, but you got to be very careful backing grapplers these days because there's a very good chance that they're not going to fight to their win condition.
Yep. Louis versus Louis is plus 100. I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't parlay either of them, but I am picking both of them. I agree. Doesn't this card feel like it needs like a Michelle Pereira? I agree with that.
They love him in Asia. He lived in Japan for a while.
Exactly. He's big over there in Asia. So, Petrino grappled. Yes, he did. I refused to grapple with my drinking problem. Crack open another cold one. There you go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Spivak 15 strikes in the first was the only leg cooked. A huge long shot for me. Guy just effing stood there. Yeah, some fights Spivak just doesn't show up. It's weird. Some fights he literally just doesn't show up, and then some fights he looks incredible. He's so hit or miss. So hit or miss. Ding, Ming is a lock. Was this the guy last night that was calling Mason Jones a lock? Was it Deer or was it somebody else? Were you?
Oh no, I think it was somebody else.
Okay.
I think. But Deer was with us last night too.
You can't call something a lock, man. I mean, this guy last night bet his booty. Bet his booty, man. Bet his booty. Brady literally called it last week, bro. Said if anyone is gonna bust the lay, it's gonna be Douglas. Yeah, I ended up not betting that fight because they just priced me out of it, man. I was looking at the under 1.5 though. So yes, so it was that guy. What do you?
Okay.
I knew you looked familiar. Nothing's a lock, especially a Chinese heavy bag whose best attributes getting hit and dropped.
We just called it the 1-800-GAMBLER fight of the night, 1 of 7. You know, like, let's not call it a lock in any of these fights.
Shouldn't you be giving up your booty? What are you doing here? This guy bet his booty last night. Oh, gosh. We got a fan of the show. Friend of the show, Andre Fiallo in the building. What is up? What is up? Yeah, there's no locks in MMA. There's literally not. There's no such thing as a lock. It's just not a thing. All right. Let's move on to the next fight.
Let's go.
It is going to be Jack Jenkins going against Sean Woodson. We got Jack Jenkins, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Sean Woodson, 34 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Jenkins, 2 years younger. Woodson with a massive 7-inch height advantage and a 10-inch reach advantage. Jenkins 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Jamal Embers. Knockout loss against Chepe Mariscal. Knockout win against Herbert Burns. Nobody does that. A submission loss to Gabriel Santos and a decision win against Ramon Tavares. As far as Sean Woodson, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Dennis Bazukia. A decision win against Charles Jourdain. A decision win against Alex Caceres. A knockout win against Fernando Padilla. And then a knockout loss to Dan Ige. So, yeah, kind of a tough one here where, you could see Sean Woodson, piecing apart Jenkins over the course of 15 minutes. I think that's very much in play. But I think Jenkins has a few paths here with the leg kicks. He has some of the nastiest leg kicks in the division, multiple leg kick TKOs on his record. And then also the grappling as well. I've been waiting for somebody to freaking grapple Sean Woodson, but nobody ever does, and it's very frustrating. But yeah, I mean, Jack can land some big shots on the feet. I think he's more dangerous. I think he has more power, has those leg kicks. I think it's a close fight here, and it's lined as such. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I think this is one where you need to get very deep into the technical analysis of how this is going to work out, because obviously with Jenkins, you have the low leg kicks against a boxer that's jab heavy, that's going to be heavy on that lead leg. And then you look at those neural ass legs of Woodson, and they're just begging to be kicked, man. So you could see Jenkins just absolutely abusing this guy's legs. And he's one of these guys that he's going to set those things up well. Jenkins doesn't just go out there and just spam leg kicks and become predictable. He puts the kicks behind the punches. He'll put punches behind the kicks. He really does a great job of setting up those kicks. He'll throw them out of both stances. He'll go to both legs with them. And then with Woodson, he's just such an impressive striker, Brady. He is so much more technical than all the guys in this division when he's at distance striking range. He uses his range really well. He's got excellent footwork. He's surprisingly good defensively, because we don't talk about a lot of guys having good distance striking defense when they're tall. They're very hittable to the body. They can be heavy on their lead leg. Woodson's got 61% distance striking defense. It's really good. A positive 2.19 distance striking differential. So these are two very intelligent strikers. Jenkins does have the ability to mix in the grappling, but Sean Woodson has excellent takedown defense of 87%, and he's spending only 17% of his UFC octagon time being controlled by his opponents. And Jack Jenkins is a surprisingly inefficient grappler. I think if he goes to the grappling, he's probably not going to have much success, man. He's kind of got he's pretty high percentage on his takedowns, but he's not winning a lot of percent of positions with his grappling. So
you should have saw what he did to Don Shameless Shanus.
Yes, that was an impressive performance. Very impressive. Nobody really does that to Don Shamus. So that's something we're giving him a lot of credit for that, Brady. We're not overlooking that performance, But this one here, this is a great fight because Woodson's got a 10-inch reach advantage. He's much taller, and he's got the big cage here to move around. But it's Woodson who's making the long trip from America to China, while Jack Jenkins just has to fly north from Australia to China. He'll probably be in a very similar time zone to where he lives. So I think that favors Jenkins. I think he's a little bit closer to being the hometown fighter here compared to Woodson. And I think that this is going to come down to who's the better striker. And Woodson does a little bit more. He lands a little bit more. But Jenkins is a little bit more accurate and defensively responsible. I think this fight's going to play out very close, man.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the line opened up at a pick'em, I think, and now it's Woodson minus 150, Jack Jenkins plus 130. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 175. The under 2.5 at plus 153. You boys watching the road to UFC also? No, I do want to watch. Who's that guy? What's his name?
The guy from Nepal?
No, there's somebody on this road to UFC. He's the main event, I think. But I want to watch that guy. I'll have to look it up in a second.
Okay.
Umar is a lock. No. Andre is a bum. Andre? Oh, Andre Fiallo? Andre Fiallo's not a bum.
Oh, come on, Colonel Keane.
Jack Jenkins' leg attack. Yeah, he should attack. I've been waiting for somebody to either grapple Woodson or attack his legs, and nobody ever does. It's so weird. Like, do it, There's no locks in betting, period. Everything's a sweat, even when it's not. Yeah, sometimes. Haven't seen Jenkins in a while. Thought he got cut. He did not get cut. He's actually coming off of a win. Sean Woodson is a lock. Oh.
Oh God, the remains of the booty.
Sean Woodson
Jeez.
is a lock. Height advantage is too much. I'm betting the remains of my booty on him. So I'm gonna start keeping track of your locks, man. So I can just. So Ding Ming's a lock for Dare, and Sean Woodson is a lock.
Okay,
A
we got to
Chinese
keep.
punching
Yeah,
bag and a one-dimensional boxer are his locks for this week. There's no other better spots for you, man. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Woodson's height and reach advantage is fairly tough to get around. Yeah, he's a big dude. Woodson is god awful, super overrated. I don't think he's god awful. He's very good at what he does, and that's the boxing. Didn't Woodson get cut? Did he? I don't think.
dude, both
Apparently
these
not.
guys are on long layoffs. It's 11 months for Jack Jenkins, and I think Jack had to pull out of a fight in Australia, and then we've got a year and 4 months for Sean Woodson since he got knocked out by Ige, which was a fight I think he was winning, Brady, and the stoppage might have been a little bit quick, but it's been a year and 4 months since that loss for Woodson. So you got to wonder about both guys' health coming into this fight.
Yeah, apparently Woodson's like doing a lot of streaming now. What's he doing? Call of Duty? Oh, Warzone. Yeah, Warzone for Sean Woodson. Cool.
Okay.
Surprised Weezy didn't pronounce victory as victory.
I think I
Victory.
might start doing that. Victory. I like that.
Yeah, I want to watch Darius Flowers. Yeah, that's what I want to watch.
Yeah.
Darius Flowers versus, was it Mosh? Yeah, Darius Flowers versus Mashate. I want to watch that. That's what I want to watch. Yeah, get some help, man. Get some help. A long time ago on Stat Diggers, I put my house on Eric Anders by sub. Still haven't recovered. Yeah, you can't bet your house, guys. It just doesn't work out, man. Low-key, I thought Woodson did get cut. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember hearing that. There was one of these times recently where somebody actually got cut and they just randomly brought him back. Which they have to start doing, Weezy. We're at a 20-week stretch. They need fighters. So they're probably going to bring a lot of these guys back, too. How much success can Jenkins have at wrestling Woodson? Yeah, he might try. If Jenkins is stuck on a horse, would you help jack off the horse? No, I would not. Y'all covered Cam Nelson already. Yeah, unfortunately we did. We did cover that. Ooh, that's a tough. Like Darius Flowers versus Roman Dolidze. Who would win that one?
Well, isn't Flowers a 55er?
Yeah. He is.
So we'd have to come up a couple weight classes. But if I know Darius Flowers, he'd show up.
At least they'll
I think
try.
Darius Flowers would show up in a cornfield to fight for free, man. Like that dude, you know.
I don't know. I mean, Roman Dolidze probably plays footsies with him. I don't know. It's a tough fight, man. No, Dolidze would win. I would hope. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Ray Saruya going against Kevin Borass. We got Ray Saruya, 24 years old, 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. Kevin Borass, 28 years old, 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. We got Saruya 4 years younger, 1 inch height advantage, got the same reach there. Saruya 4-1 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Carlos Hernandez, won that fight by decision. Has several road to UFC wins. Decision loss to Joshua Van, his only loss there. A submission win against Luis Garole in his last fight, which was extremely impressive to me. I know people think Garole is a bum. Even I kind of think that a little bit, but what Garole does really well is he has elite anti-grappling, and Saruya just made him look like an amateur in the wrestling and the grappling. So that was very, very impressive. As far as Borjas, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, knockout loss against Alessandro Costa, decision win against Ronaldo Rodriguez, decision loss against Suma Darji, knockout loss against Emmanuel Rodriguez, and then a decision win against Andre Lima in one of the worst fights of the entire year, where he was literally, and I mean sprinting away from Andre Lima for 15 minutes. I mean, when you talk about somebody being on your bike, I mean, this guy was pedaling faster than I've ever seen in my entire life. And Weezy, I think the UFC saw that fight, and I think it pissed them off. I think it pissed off the matchmakers, and I think it pissed off Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, Dana White, and they said, listen, Borass, we're sending you to China to take on Ray Saruya, and this guy is gonna just turn you into a pretzel. I mean, Kevin Borjas, he's really good at running away. He's got some power, but his ground game, anytime I've seen him off his back, it just looks awful. He got mounted at the end of the first round by Emmanuel Rodriguez. Yeah, I think Ray Saruya is going to take him down and do very, very bad things to him. Very bad things to him here. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty rough matchup for Borjas. You can't. I don't think he's gonna be able to run away from this one, Wheezy.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, like, he might get warned for timidity if he pulls the same shit that he pulled in that Lima fight. I've never really seen anything like that. And, Lima was a professional there and kind of just kept chasing him. He tried to cut off the cage, but this dude was literally running.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember doing that like in wrestling practices. Sometimes you do these, these drills where you're going back and forth and you're shuffling side to side. And I mean, like that was a pretty disgusting performance. And you know what else they did to punish him? They put Andre Lima on the same card. So they're going to have to see each other at the hotel, and Lima's going to be like, "You're a running bitch." He's going to be able to tell him in Spanish exactly what he thinks of him in that last performance. But hell, man, if you back Borjas, you loved that performance because he was clinical, man. He made the dude chase him. Every time he got a little bit too sloppy, he'd land a combination down the middle, and he'd run for another 30 seconds, land another combination, and he won the minutes and he banked the rounds. You got to hand it to him, man. He was a plus 530 underdog in that fight, which meant that Lima was probably minus 800 or approaching 90% implied probability to win that fight. So Borjas put on a really good game plan there to win, but this is a completely different type of opponent. And like I said, if he tries to pull the same shit, he's probably going to get docked a point for timidity.
He might get DQ'd, Wheezy. He might get DQ'd.
Yeah, I could see that happening because, like, I think if Lima was smart, he would have just stopped at some point and just went to the referee like, "Hey, what do you want me to do here? Are you going to warn this fucking guy?" Yeah. He was literally running away the entire fight. So I think a lot of people are going to have to forgive Andre Lima for that performance because, frankly, it shouldn't have been allowed. At some point, he should have been warned for what he was doing. And then, like trying to do that against Saruya is going to be more difficult because Saruya can just shoot takedowns to kind of try to get a hold of you. And he's got so many different takedowns to go to. You got to think that once he gets this guy down, he's going to submit him. Borjas has been submitted as a professional, just not in the UFC. But then again, it's like, I mean, who's going to submit him? Josh Van, Alessandro Costa, Ronaldo Rodriguez, Suma Darji doesn't know how to spell sub. Emmanuel Rodriguez is a striker, So, yeah, I think that Saruya probably gets a hold of this guy. And when he does, he's going to get to dominant positions and look to finish this fight.
Yeah, I think he's the biggest favorite on the card. Yeah, minus 650 here for Ray Saruya, plus 475 for Borjas. So the odds makers are kind of looking right through that BS win against Andre Lima, and they're making Saruya a massive, massive favorite. Wouldn't be surprised if the line even got wider. Isn't Borjas a flight risk after his last terroristic performance? Yeah, man. I mean, that was so bad. It was so bad, dude. I'm putting a lot of money on Saruya's sub. I wouldn't do that. Saruya has very, very good ground and pound. So he could TKO him too. I would just play like the inside the distance to be safe. But I do lean sub. Who does that to Andre Piner? Piner? I don't know. I hear Borjas brought in Esteban Rubiks to help him prepare for the grappling he'll face in this fight. There we go. Beautiful.
That's not good.
Oh, God. Seems like a horrible matchup for Borjas. Yeah. Peru to China, how long is that flight back home? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, it's a long one, dude.
Saruya seems like a lock. Oh, why do they keep giving Borjas huge plus money for always looking good in every fight? I don't agree with that. I don't think he's ever looked good. He did beat Ronaldo Souza, though. Ronaldo Rodriguez. Yeah, people are definitely counting him out here. So you're getting a big plus money number on him. Yeah, they call him the Black Cock. Oh, gosh. If you run, they should actually call the fight. Yeah, DQ him, man. DQ him. Just terrible. They give yellow and red cards in one for timidity. About time we see it in the UFC. I 1,000% agree. We see it too much. We see it way too much. So But I don't think he's going to get the chance to run away because I think Saruya is going to take him down. And I think it's what Andre Lima should have done, is just take him down. I was pissed off at Lima that night, Weezy, because he was walking out with his black belt on.
I remember.
Like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Use it. Use that black belt. But all right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Namsray Batbuyer versus Andre Lima, who we just talked about a little bit. We got Batbuyer, 25 years old, 5'4" with a 68-inch reach. Lima, 27 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Batbuyer, 2 years younger. Lima with a 3-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Batbuyer is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, has some road to UFC fights there, making his debut. As far as Andre Lima, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He got a DQ win against Igor Severino, a decision win against Mitch Raposo, decision win against Felipe Dos Santos, submission win against Daniel Perez, and then that decision win against Kevin Borjas. So, yeah, I kind of think that if Lima went out there and did what he should have done, he'd probably actually be a bigger favorite here. But I think people are like really low on Lima after his last fight, after he dropped the ball. What was he, like a minus? I think it was like a minus 800 favorite on some books that night. So he lost the fight as a massive, massive favorite. I'm sure busted a lot of parlays. And Wheezy, somebody actually asked me for a lock that week. And I never say anything's a lock, but they actually donated. So I was like, okay, since you donated, I'll tell you a lock. And I actually said Andre Lima is a lock against Kevin Borjas, which just goes to show you nothing's a lock. But yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. You know, Batbuyer is the opposite of Kevin Borjas. Batbuyer wants to fight. Batbuyer wants to be in there. He wants to, swing dicks until one man falls. He's very defensively irresponsible. I've seen him dropped and hurt, but he also has a ton of power for the division. He'll also mix in the grappling. I do worry about the cardio a little bit. He rarely leaves the first round, which is, not usual for a flyweight. I think he's been to the third round maybe one time. His last loss comes against 2 Minute a Barrel in the second round via submission. So maybe there's a hole in maybe the grappling defensively and the cardio as well. So yeah, but on the feet, Batbuyer is looking to swing dicks here with Lima. So I think if you're Lima, you got to maybe weather an early storm here, extend the fight, mix in the grappling, finally use that black belt. And if he does it, I think Lima can win this fight. But he's going to have to weather a little bit of a storm here because Batbuyer gets after it and gets after it quick, Weezy. He's a fun fighter, good addition to the roster.
I like these Mongolian fighters, man. They're scrappy. They're they work hard. They are well-rounded and very, very aggressive. And yeah, this Batbuyer is the real deal. All 10 wins come by finish, 5 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's never seen a decision in his career. But even in the Two-Men Barrel fight, he got Two-Men Barrel's back in round 1 and just basically almost 10-8'd him. But he slows down. And you can't do that against Lima. And Lima, the reason he was a minus 800 favorite against Borjas last time out, and the time before that, he was minus 400 versus Perez. He was minus 320 versus Mitch Raposo in a fight that went to split decision. This guy's really good, man, everywhere. He's very good defensively everywhere the fight goes. Everything that he lands is going to hurt. And it's virtually impossible to out-grapple this guy. Like Igor Severino was absolutely just trying to drown this guy and putting on one of the craziest paces I've ever seen in a fight. And Lima just cheated his ass off in that fight. Like grabbing the shorts, going inside the glove, grabbing the fence, poking eyes. He was doing everything. And then the poor kid just lost it and bit his arm. And then wound up getting disqualified. But Lima's tough to score against, man. And he's seen some really tricky opponents. He fought that bum Zenadim on Dana White's Contender Series, who basically fought with the exact same game plan that Borjas did. And then he fought somebody like Raposo, who doesn't engage at all. But he fought a marauder like Perez, and he went out there and subbed him. He fought a marauder like Felipe Dos Santos and went out there and won a unanimous decision. So I think that if fighters are aggressive, they're going to give Lima what he wants because he's the better defensive fighter. Everything he throws hurts, and he's extremely dangerous on the ground. So I think this is a good bounce back spot for Lima because this guy isn't going to run away from him. He's going to fight him. And Andre Lima needs that. He can't
Yeah.
have somebody that's going to just run away the whole fight, because those are the fights where he's not looking at his best. And it's the Zenedine fight, it's the Borjas fight, and it's the Raposo fight. And what do those guys all have in common?
They run
don't
away.
fucking fight.
Yeah.
So guys like Perez and Dos Santos, those are wins. Severino is somebody who's going to fight you, and that fight was very close, despite the fact that Severino was putting on a blistering pace there. So, yeah, I think this is going to be Lima. I think he should win this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And that's a good point you brought up. I think Lima's at his best when somebody actually tries to not run away. And he's got a couple of those. Like you said, the contender series.
3 of them. It's crazy.
Awful. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. So, yeah, I think it's Lima here. I think Batbuyer is going to be dangerous early. What I actually don't hate, and it's definitely overpriced for a flyweight fight, is the under 2.5. I don't think Batbuyers ever went over 2.5. Let me look this
He's
up.
never been to decision. He's never been to decision.
Yeah, he's been to the third round once. I want to see if that fight in the third round did go over. It says NA. Thanks for that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
For sure. So we don't know, but yeah, I mean, this guy goes under all the time. So I don't hate like the under. You could see a Lima knockout because Batbuyer's defensively, he has no defense, quite frankly. We could see a Batbuyer knockout. Batbuyer has a lot of power for a flyweight. We could see a Lima sub. Batbuyer's lost by sub before. We could see a Batbuyer. I think we could see all methods for this fight. So I don't mind the under minus 140. It did open up at plus 110, which would have been pretty cool. But yeah, minus 140. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I don't hate it there. And yeah, like I said, Lima's minus 240 on the money line. If you bet inside the distance on Racery and they call it a DQ, does it cash? Yes, it will cash. Yes. Time to lose another paycheck on Lima. Let's get it. Batbuyer has been working on fleeing. Oh, no, that's impossible. This guy will never run away. No. I hope not. I sure hope not. Lima followed Boras around, throwing nothing. Doesn't know how to cut off the cage at all. Luckily for him, Batbuyer is just...
You can't cut off the cage when the other guy is running.
Sprinting.
It means you have to run as well. You literally have to chase the guy, Like it's a circle. You can just run in a circle.
It's so bad. Never letting Chalk and Lima again, dude, has zero urgency and low IQ. Yeah, and he's a cheater as well. This guy grabs the cage. This guy grabs the gloves. I mean, this guy absolutely cheats, man. Andre Lima has AIDS. Oh, God, it's not good.
I don't think so.
That's not good at all. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Bilal Hassan going against Nilson Rojas. We got Hassan, 25 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Rojas, 27 years old, 5'5". We got Hassan, 2 years younger, 2-inch height advantage. Hassan's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He knocked out that bomb Murdral Sakia on the Contender Series as a minus 4,500 favorite in about 30 seconds. As far as Nilson Rojas, he's making his debut here, and it looks like they're putting these two on the main card, Weezy, and I see why. This is good. Both these guys are exciting fighters. So Hassan has a lot of hype on him. This guy went out there and got that early finish on the Contender Series. You can't take literally anything away from that fight. Rojas would do the same exact thing to him. With that said, though, Hassan is a very, very good fighter. A very, very good fighter. I love the kicks, the variety of strikes. He goes to the body, good cardio. He's very dangerous. I've seen him get multiple finishes to the body as well. And you're going against Rojas here, and it looks like Hassan's minus 625, which is kind of wild because Rojas is actually good. I think Rojas is actually going to win some fights in the UFC. Rojas has a lot of power for the flyweight division. This guy goes out there and he swings his dick and he swings it hard. The problem with Rojas is with that fighting style, you're going to slow down a little bit. The volume on Rojas is low, but if he can connect on you, he can hurt you. So I think Hassan wins. I think Hassan is just going to do more. I think he has more tools on the feet. Rojas has that power, but like I said, he slows down as the fight goes on. I think Hassan can mix it up to the body and maybe eventually get Rojas out of there. But yeah, Rojas is kind of getting priced as if he's a bum. I don't think he's a bum. I think he's that solid, but there is a lot of hype on Bilal Hassan after he went out there and finished that bum in 30 seconds. You were there, Weezy, watching that with me.
Yeah, man, that was poor Indian guy that
Oh,
got absolutely destroyed on Dana White's,
oh,
or I mean, on Road to UFC as well. So, yeah, I
mm.
mean, it was an easy win for him. And when I look at Bilal Hassan, the guy's fighting in CFFC, and I mean, it's one of the only Northeast regional scene organizations that where you can actually get an opponent with a pulse. But even then, it's still the Northeast regional scene. It's fucking trash. So we got to
Yeah.
be real careful, man. We got to be real careful. These Peruvian dudes that are coming out of these nothing organizations, a lot of them turn out to be really good, man. Daniel Marcos turned out to be really good. Even a guy like what the hell was his name? He was the shoot to box guy with the giant head who kept missing weight. He fought Chaos Williams in his debut. Bedoya.
Oh, Bedoya, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bedoya.
Yeah.
Borjas is a Peruvian, that was scoring some points with wins. He just got to win over Lima. Some of these Peruvian strikers are pretty good, man. So, you never know if he might be able to go out there and surprise Hassan, land a big shot, show this kid a little bit of adversity of which he's seen none. And it's not like this guy's running through studs on the regional scene. He's beating guys in CFFC. So I'm not sure how much better Hassan's wins up to this point in his career are that much better than Rojas's, who's down there in FFC and Inca. And both of these guys have pretty good amateur careers too. Bilal Hassan had 6 amateur wins. And this guy Rojas, before he turned pro, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 wins on the regional scene, 2 losses. One of the losses was to Kevin Borjas, but one of the wins was against Borjas as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a striker versus striker matchup at the end of the day. So this one might wind up playing out a little bit closer than people think.
Yeah, minus 625 for Hassan. Rojas plus 460. The over under is set at 1.5. There's not a lot of 1.5 Sweezy on this card, but they have a flyweight fight. It's set at 1.5. The under 1.5 is to minus 125. The over 1.5 is plus 105. I actually think there's value on the over, and I'm not an over guy, but that's where I think the value lies. Because you look at you look at Hassan. He had like a 4th round knockout before he came onto the Contender Series. So what? He finished that bum in 30 seconds. I don't think Rojas is a bum. So yeah, I think there's value on the over, but I don't know if I'll get there. What do you guys think about this fight here? Over 1.5. Yeah, it's not a bad look. Bilal must be a huge favorite. Yeah, minus 625, 650. This is still a road to UFC fight that just happens to be on a Saturday. Yeah, pretty much, man. Hassan first round, good odds. I don't think it'll be good odds, but maybe it'll hit. Dudes from Peru, Ecuador have crazy durability. They do. They actually do. Bedoya has crazy durability.
Yeah.
Marcos has crazy durability. Even Boros is, pretty durable. Can we all agree that Hassan Rojas is the best fight on the card? Who doesn't want to see Bilal moonwalk over a dead corpse of Rojas? Yeah, it's probably the best fight on the card, to be honest. There's a reason they put this on the main card. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be oh my god.
Yeah.
They put these 2 bums on the main card, Wheezy. Oh God, help us all. We got C. Louis going against Levy Rodriguez. We got C. Louis, 29 years old, 6'5" with a 77-inch reach. Levy Rodriguez, 29 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. We got same age there. It's gonna be C. Louis with a 5-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. C. Louis is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, making his debut here. He only has 4 fights, so he's 3-1 in his only 4 fights. My apologies. As far as Levy Rodriguez, he has 3-1, no contest in his last 5 fights. So I actually thought it was really funny because one of the original fights, Wheezy, was supposed to be Junior Taffa versus C. Louis. And I'm watching tape on C. Louis, and I watched probably like 3 or 4 fights in a row where he got a leg kick TKO in kickboxing. And I just thought to myself, holy crap, Junior Taffa watched tape on this guy and pulled out instantly because Junior Taffa has the worst leg kick defense in UFC history. I mean, if C. Louis fought Junior Taffa, it'd be a leg kick TKO in the first 30 seconds. So yeah, good thing Junior Taffa pulled out. But in steps Levy Rodriguez, who just got sparked by Felipe Franco in his last fight, who had that who popped for steroids after beating a gym teacher, and Freddie Vidal on the Contender Series, and quite frankly, he's just somebody that's very underwhelming, and Levy Rodriguez. So see, Louis is going to be a huge future fade against somebody that's going to grapple, dude. I mean, this guy's a zero on the mat. I mean, this guy has probably a worse ground game than Elise Reed. I think Elise Reed might tap this guy out on the ground, man. So the question is Levy Rodriguez going to grapple him? I don't think so. I've never really seen Rodriguez grapple. Is Levy Rodriguez going to swing dicks with him? Probably. And if that's the case, someone's probably getting served within the first couple minutes. See, Louis very hittable, but he's very dangerous with the leg kicks, the head kicks, and Levy Rodriguez has a lot of power in his own right as well, Weezy. And what I like about this fight as well is we've seen a lot of instances where Levy Rodriguez gets held against the cage at periods of time. See, Louis is not going to hold him against the cage, and these guys are going to stand in the middle. They're going to pull out their dicks, and they're going to swing their dicks, and it's going to come down to who has the bigger cock. And if you can figure that out, you're going to figure out who's going to win this fight. It's going to be a dick swing contest of the highest degree.
Yeah, and if it's a dick swinging contest and it's about who's got the bigger dick, you take Brazil over China every day.
Wow.
And yeah, I said it. Che Lu's a Chinese kickboxer. You're gonna knock out other Chinese dudes with 2 leg kicks, and they're gonna quit. I mean, it doesn't matter what they're good at; they all suck at it. You remember Hu Yazong, the fucking Greco-Roman national champion out of 1 billion people. He was the best Greco-Roman wrestler, and he goes out there and he just, gets absolutely abused by people who are strikers on the mat, so I don't know, man. Like, Rodriguez has got a lot of power, and he might be back on the juice. He might not. See, that's the problem. That's what we don't know here. They're not, he's got to take a long ass trip on short notice here because this guy Rodriguez is stepping in for Junior Tafa here. So it's a kickboxer versus a kickboxer. Che Lu's probably the more technical guy with better weapons and more weapons, but Rodriguez is just going to walk forward and say, fuck your technique and try to take your damn head off. And I think he might be able to do that, dude. And what's funny is, you see that loss on Che Lu's record to Ivan Ganitsky?
Yep.
They gave this guy Ganitsky a fucking Contender Series fight, and then the guy that he beat, they just signed directly to the UFC because he's Chinese. Yeah. So, I hope Rodriguez gets back on the juice here and just knocks this dude out. Because, and if he has any grappling game at all, I think he would be very, very smart to use it. Because this guy Lou is just he's a kickboxer. So, you want to test his total MMA skill set if that's something that Rodriguez does. But like you said, Brady, I don't know if there's any evidence at all of Levi Rodriguez grappling on tape. He's just out there knocking fools out in round 1. So, I think it's going to it'll be a good fight, but short notice going all the way to China for Levi Rodriguez, coming off of a loss to a guy who fought in shopping malls and Felipe Franco. It's a bad look.
Yeah, it actually a bit of a pick 'em. See Louis open up at -110. He's currently -205. Rodriguez open up at -110, currently +177. The over/under set at 1.5. The under 1.5 is -170. I think there might actually be some value there at -170, but it's gross. It's absolutely gross. But this should be a 1-round ding dong Donnybrook dick swinging contest.
Yeah,
should be fun. Hassan is ready for a fringe top 15. I hate when they bring someone from Dana White's Contender Series, give them a can and in their debut. They're trying to build him up a little bit. You know how it is.
He's young. They need to build him up.
He's young. Yeah. See, Louis thought is what we would thought Ming Yang would be. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if this guy, anytime somebody's gonna grapples him, he's gonna get destroyed. I mean, this guy has no grappling game at all. So, luckily for him, they're helping him out. They tried to give him Junior Tafa, who can't grapple, and then they're giving him Levy Rodriguez, who I've never seen grapple. So they're trying to help him out here a little bit. Dare I say it? There's value on. There probably is in a dick swinging contest. There probably is, man. Thanks for moving it to Sundays. We'll can strike early before the line moves, no problem, man. Keep the 100 gambler up because this whole card is suspect. That's why I kept it up, man. 1-800 gambler. 1-800 gambler. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. Before we do so, if you guys have not smashed the like button for us, please smash the like button for us. Uncle Weezy's taking a week off and he still showed up. What was that? He still showed up. So smash it. 81 likes. We need to get at least 100. I know it's UFC Shanghai. I know nobody's not people aren't too excited about this card, but we gotta get at least 100 likes. Seal Louis, he's not a lock, man. Come on, nothing's a lock. Nothing's a lock. All right, moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Alex Perez going against Suma Darji 2. We got Alex Perez, 34 years old, 5'6" with a 65-inch reach. Suma Darji, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. Suma Darji, 4 years younger, 2-inch height advantage, 7-inch reach advantage. Perez is 2-2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Mateus Nicolau. Knockout loss against Tatsuro Taira. Submission loss to Asio Mabayev. Knockout win against Charles Johnson. And then a no contest against Suma Darji. As far as Suma Darji, 3-1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Charles Johnson. Decision win against Mitch Raposo. Decision win against Kevin Borjas. Decision win against Jesus Aguilar. And then a no contest against Perez. So I remember that night, Weezy, we both had bets on Alex Perez, and the fight ended up being a no contest, and it kind of felt like a win. You know, we got our money back.
Yeah.
Felt like a win because I did not like the direction that fight was heading. You know, Alex Perez was not really having a ton of success with the wrestling. Alex Perez was kind of getting pieced up at range, at distance, and it looked like if that fight were going to continue, looks like Suma Darji was kind of taken over. So I was happy that got my money back and didn't lose that bet. And now they rebooked this fight. And what's interesting about this is when we bet Alex Perez, we got him at maybe like plus 110, plus 120.
Yeah.
Alex Perez is sitting at plus 200.
Yep.
Plus 200. And Suma Darji is sitting at minus 240. So a massive difference in the line. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to go back and watch that last fight and say, yeah, Perez was on his way to winning that one. I don't think he was. So people are going back and watching that fight and remembering that fight and thinking Madarji should win. And I agree. I think Madarji wins, but minus 240, it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, you know. So I don't want to bet this fight, but I mean, if it gets any wider, I mean, there's got to be some value on Perez. He has a path with the wrestling, and he can land big shots of his own. But yeah, I did not like how he looked in his last fight.
Yeah, neither did I, man. Alex Perez was 4 of 29 on head strikes in that fight. But also, you know, he shot only one takedown in round 1. He shot only one takedown in round 2. He got dropped in round 2. But also, I seem to remember like the scorecards coming out, and they had Alex Perez winning round 1 on 2 of the 3 scorecards. So it was one of those bets that, like, while he wasn't looking good, there was one moment that Madarji won in round 2 when he got the knockdown, and then he was, you know, up 10 significant strikes to 0 in that round before the nut shot. But oftentimes when you see, you know, the line move that much in a rematch where you're following up a no contest, it's just taking into consideration the short sample size of that particular iteration of the last matchup, and oftentimes the value is going to be on the guy that comes around next time. Like I can remember a situation like this a few years back where Tim Means was fighting Alex Oliveira. And the first time they matched up, Means drops Oliveira, is basically close to finishing him. And then I think he lands an illegal knee while Means is down or something like that. Whatever it was, the fight gets stopped, and then it winds up being a no contest because the person that got fouled, in this case, Alex Oliveira, was unable to continue. So then all of a sudden, the next time, while it was close to a pick'em fight, now Means is like minus 250. And it's another iteration of the fight between two guys that are well matched. And Alex Oliveira goes out there and wins the fight as a massive underdog. And there's a lesson in that, and that these are professionals. And just because the fight went one way and at one time, remember what the betting markets had it priced at. This isn't like it was two debutantes that we didn't really know anything about. These are two guys with a ton of UFC fights apiece. And the market at it priced minus 140 for Sue, plus 120 for Alex Perez. Now it's minus 240 for Sue, plus 200 for Alex Perez. But some things still remain, Brady. Alex Perez has better leg kicks. Alex Perez still has better wrestling. Alex Perez has fought and beaten the better brand of competition. When you add up the records of the guys that Sue Mudaerji has beaten, it's 13 wins and 22 losses. Those are the guys that Sue Mudaerji has beaten. Guys like Jesus Aguilar, guys like Kevin Borjas, who's 2-4. Mitch Raposo is 2-2. But then when you go before that, it's guys like Zaruk Adashev and Malcolm Gordon and, guys that don't have good UFC records. So I feel like that Perez is the value side here.
Yeah.
Obviously because we're getting just a much cheaper price on the second iteration of the matchup, and both guys get to make adjustments, Brady. But like I say, what if Perez starts landing some good leg kicks on Mudaerji this time? What if he's the one on the pressure this time and he backs him up and he mixes in the wrestling? There's a few different ways where Alex could look much better than what we're pricing him at.
No, I agree. I think there's value on Perez. I just don't know if I want to bet on this card in general, let alone this fight. I would bet my testicles on Perez winning. Oh gosh. Sue ain't 5'8". He's one of these guys that lies about his height. Yeah, he is a big dude. He's a big dude. All these lock picks. This must be the most anticipated card of the year. I guess so, man. I guess people are really enjoying this card. Brady, Uncle Easy, do you remember when the like button was going in reverse? Brady was like, oh my goodness, the likes are going backwards. Yeah, that was wild. I don't know what happened that night. I want to see all the max back tickets on the Fight Companion. Oh, Mudaerji doesn't finish anyone. You can't trust him at this price. And yeah, that's why I'm kind of confused that the under is actually juiced. Not only is it a flyweight fight, but it's a Sue Mudaerji fight. This guy couldn't finish Zaruk Adashev. The under is minus 135. I'd rather play the under in the Lima fight at the same price against Batbuyer. So I don't get that. But yeah, Mudaerji has been finished a ton. Maybe Perez can finish him, but Perez is a big dog here. Perez is a good actor. Yeah, he's a good actor. Yes. We got Fluffy in the building. It's been a while. What's up, Fluffy? Good to see you in here. So Mudaerji is a lock. Perez by acting hurt again. Hey, I'm glad he did. He got my money back from that bet. We got Terry Wells, made it live, cracked the like button on both phones. Appreciate that, Terry. You got to love to see something like that. Can never forget Sue Mudaerji losing to Schnell after having him on death's door for so long. Yeah, one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then we got the Only Godfather, two famous legends in Brady and Uncle Weezy. Let's go. What's up, Only Godfather? Good to see you in here. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be Kaya Sakura going against Arichi Long. We got Kaya Sakura, 32 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Arichi Long, 33 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. We got Asakura 1 year younger, 1-inch height advantage, same reach there. We got Arichi Long, 2-2 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Johnny Munoz Jr., a no contest against Raul Rosas Jr., a knockout win against Cody Gibson, a knockout loss against Cody Haddon. As far as Kaya Sakura, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Alexander Pantoja in a title fight, lost that fight by submission, and then lost by submission to Tim Elliott, and then beat Cameron Smotherman by knockout. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hype on Kaya Sakura, man. I mean, they threw him right into a title shot. Like, we don't see that too often at all. And then after he lost to Pantoja, the hype died down a bit. And then after he lost to Tim Elliott, the hype just completely plummeted. It plummeted to a point, Weezy, where people were actually picking Cameron Smotherman against this guy on Fight Week. And I just couldn't believe my eyes. like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, it's clear. Kaya Sakura can't grapple, right? He can't grapple. He got submitted by and there's no shame in getting submitted by Pantoja. There's no shame in getting submitted by Tim Elliott, but there's clearly a hole in the game against in the grappling game of Kaya Sakura. But then he takes on a striker and Cameron Smotherman. We saw how good his striking is. I don't think people realize how good of a striker Kaya Sakura is. Really fast hands, a ton of power for both the flyweight and bantamweight divisions. Some of the nastiest knees I've ever seen, multiple knockouts with his knees. And he's fought really good competition both in and outside the UFC. and he finally took on a striker in the UFC, and he showed what he's capable of. And now he's getting another striker in Arichi Long here, who says he's 33 years old, but I disagree with that. I mean, this guy's at least 40, Arichi Long, and I think his durability is starting to go a little bit. This is one of those guys that eats punches with his face. He's very hittable, very defensively irresponsible. I remember he got dropped 3 times by Jeff Molina. He got sparked by Ayman Zahabi, and then he's coming off of getting sparked against Cody Haddon. So I think it's a good matchup for Asakura in a sense that Arichi Long's not a grappler. He's going to strike with them, and it's clear who the higher level striker is. This is another fight I feel like it's going to be a ding-dong Donnybrook because Arichi Long's not a bitch. He's going out there to actually fight. And if that's the case, if these guys are going to fight, I think somebody's getting served and getting served quite brutally. So I see why they put this on the main card as well. But we're not getting Asakura at a good number like we did against Smotherman. I think they're onto it now. Asakura, one of the biggest favorites on the card against Arichi Long here. But this is probably one of my favorite fights of the card. It should be a fun one, man. I think they're going to stand and bang it till one man falls.
Yeah, striker versus striker matchup here. Asakura goes from fighting Pantoja and Elliott to now fighting Smotherman and Quileng, who are, they're bottom third of the division guys. So, this is a guy that they signed. Probably they're paying him a good amount of money. And now it's like, you lose. The Tim Elliott loss was not planned. They were setting him up for a win there in Chicago, and he blew it, man. He missed the layup, and it's not like Elliott looked great after that either. So we're gonna have to see what that win over Smotherman means. Quileng coming off the loss to Haddon, but he got a good win over Cody Gibson prior to that. Won a round off of Raul Rosas Jr., and then he got his nuts punted in the Daniel Marcos fight. That was a real shame. So yeah, Quileng's he's got how many wins? 4 UFC wins, and those guys have combined records of 5 wins and 17 losses.
Oh my gosh.
So is he going to beat Kai Asakura? Probably not. I mean, this should be a good spot for Kai to get a win here. He's the younger fighter. He's got less miles on the engine. He's fought the better brand of competition on the aggregate at this level. He was a minus 300 favorite versus Tim Elliott. What is he here?
He's like minus 450.
Yeah, so the most expensive price that we're seeing him at in the UFC, because the previous record was minus 300 versus Elliott. He was only minus 260 versus Smotherman last time out. But because he covered that price tag, now he's more expensive here at minus 450. And Quileng is coming off being knocked out as a plus 300 underdog. I mean, he's been an underdog in his last 5 fights, plus 100 versus Munoz, plus 250 versus Marcos, plus 600 versus Rojas, plus 160 versus Cody Gibson, and he cashed there. And then plus 300 last time out against Cody Haddon. So, yeah, this guy doesn't have a lot of faith from the market, and he's kind of getting a better version of himself here in Kai Asakura, who's also a striker, but just has a little bit more power and a little more pop than Aori Quileng does.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. They love setting fights at 1.5 this week. They only have like 2. This should be set at 1.5, but they didn't. They put it at 2.5, and obviously it's going to get obliterated, and it has. The under 2.5 opened up at minus 110. It's already to minus 195. So I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled the 2.5 and put it to 1.5 where it should be for this fight, because these guys are going to stand and swing dicks here. So, yeah, big favorite here in Asakura. We'll see if he can get another knockout here. Yeah. What's good, homies? What's good, my guy? Kai Asakura round 1 KO might be value. It might be, man. Going to bet big on this card, strike when everyone's fearful. Yeah, I mean, you'll have more action than me, that's for sure. There's some shame in how it happened with Elliott. Yeah, it was a bad look, man. It was a bad look. Kai Asakura fraud checked. Yeah, he lost to Tim Elliott. It's not good. Marcus, by the way, just beat Magomedov by brutal shoulder. Yeah, I heard about that. This fight is a unicorn. You don't see China versus Japan in the UFC very often. If Asakura fumbles this, that'd be a crazy fumble to lose to Arichi Long.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving on. Wait a second. Is this the co-main event, the Yan Zhao?
Yeah, it is.
Fight?
It sure is.
Oh!
It's that kind of card, and I think it deserves co-main event status.
Oh!
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not I think Yan Xiaonan fights are just so boring, but maybe Denise Gomes can make it exciting. We got Yan Xiaonan going against Denise Gomes. We got Yan Xiaonan, 37 years old, 5'5" with a 63-inch reach. Denise Gomes, 26 years old, 5'2" with a 63-inch reach. We got Denise Gomes 1 year younger. Yan Xiaonan with a 3-inch height advantage, same reach there. Yan Xiaonan 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Dern. Knockout win against Andrade. Decision loss against Zhang Wei Li. Decision win against Tabitha Ricci, and then a decision loss against Verna Jandaroba. As far as Denise Gomes, 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Angela Hill in a fight that I thought she might have won. A decision win against Eduardo Mora. Decision win against Karolina Kovacevic. Knockout win against Elise Reed. Nobody does that. And then a decision win against Tisha Pennington. So this is a weird one here. I mean, I could see Yan Xiaonan using the veteran savvy, using the technical striking, the footwork, piecing apart Gomes over the course of 15 minutes and winning by decision like she typically does. But I think Gomes has some paths here. She hits very, very hard for the division. I think she's either a brown belt or black belt in BJJ, might be able to grapple here. I still think there's a hole in the grappling game of Yan Xiaonan. So it's a tough one. Like, could see a Yan Xiaonan decision. Could see Denise Gomes making it ugly, landing some big shots, mixing in the grappling. I don't know, Weezy, and quite frankly, I don't care. What are your thoughts on this co-main event?
Yeah, it's definitely more like the technical skill at distance of Yan Xiaonan versus the marauding and the power of Denise Gomez. And both ladies have power. When you look at the power numbers, Yan Xiaonan is a 2-0 knockdown ratio, and she's landing 0.15 knockdowns per 15 minutes, and that is 53% greater than the divisional average. While Denise Gomez has a 3-0 knockdown ratio, lands 0.51 knockdowns per 15 minutes, which is 400% greater than the divisional average. So obviously Denise has different power for this division. When we look at the output of both fighters at distance striking range, the accuracy level is very similar. Yan Xiaonan throws a little bit more at range, and she's a lot more defensively responsible. 66% distance striking defense compared to 51% for Gomez. So I think this is going to be one of those minute winner versus moment winner fights at distance striking range, where both ladies hit hard. But if you're trying to picture who could potentially win this fight on damage, you'd probably lean to the Gomez side. She might be able to, land 20 less significant strikes, but still win this fight on damage. So the power differential is a big thing here. In addition, I think Gomez, who attempts almost 5 takedowns per 15 minutes and spends more than 50% of her UFC octagon time in control time positions, Brady, that's another path for her here, because we know that Yan Xiaonan is somebody who struggles with grapplers. She has 65% takedown defense. She only wins 21% of the control time positions in her fights, and she has a negative 0.64 distance striking differential, while Gomez is winning 52% of the control time positions in her fights. She's got 66% takedown defense and a positive 1 clinch and ground strike differential. So I think Denise Gomez has more minute winning tools in the grappling exchanges of this fight, and I think she has more moment winning tools at distance striking range. But Yan Xiaonan clearly a little bit more technical, a lot more defensively responsible, and a little bit taller and longer, which should help her to be able to score points with their long-range weapons. So I think it'll be Yan Xiaonan by decision, or maybe a finish-only prop for Denise Gomez could be a good way to look at this. But yeah, I think that these ladies are well-matched. I think this is actually a pretty good fight.
We got Yan Xiaonan minus 150, Denise Gomes plus 130, the over, under set at 2.5, the over 2.5 minus 275, the under 2.5 is plus 226. Weezy, is Larian Douglas a fraud?
No, absolutely not. A fraud is somebody who fights who cheats on the regional scene in order to get here by fighting nobody with a pulse. And Le'Veon Douglas is the opposite of that. The guy's got a very long regional scene resume of fighting in LFA for the title, 5-round fights, fighting against a really good level of regional scene competition. Definitely not a fraud.
No, a fraud is like Jesla Chavez, who's fighting in shopping malls and fighting in elementary school gymnasiums. fighting 0-0 opponents. That's a fraud. Douglas has fought really good competition, and I think he'll be back. Oh, Denise Gomes by swinging her D. Oh gosh. Wait, you're kidding? This is the co-main. Yeah, apparently this is the co-main event. Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard to prison. Yeah, I agree. Just triple checked and confirmed it. I have no words. I might turn off the fight companion before the co-main event and main event because I don't really care about this fight, Gomes Janon, and then I really don't care about the main event. I know that's a wild thing to say, but like, who cares about an Umar Nurmagomedov fight? I was calling for the UFC to actually cut him after his last fight against Figgy, the corpse of Figgy, when he actually took the corpse of Figgy 15 minutes. So, yeah, I might end the fight companion before the co-main event we see. I'll be so tired by the. Yeah, I might do that. That's a good idea. Let's go. Betting my booty on Gomes. Oh boy. Did Sean Shelby have a bet against Mick Maynard to see who builds the worst possible card? I think they might do that. We got our guy Dan from Hat the Bat on the building. What is up, Dan? Smash a like from my brother and uncle. What's up, Dan? Good to see you in here. Douglas got a broken orbital, I heard. Yeah. Over under on how many times I fall asleep I might fall asleep. I fell asleep during the one card. Was it Ankalaev? The Ankalaev fight? I think I fell asleep during that fight, one of these fight companions, where they went out there and did nothing for 4 rounds. Yeah, I think I fell asleep during that fight.
Yeah, you did. I had to keep waking you up. I remember.
Where was it? Where was that one at? Was that Abu Dhabi?
That was Abu Dhabi, where excitement goes to die.
Yeah. All right. Let's see these WikiFeed scores. Yan Jianan, 99 photos. I know what I'm doing tonight.
No,
99 photos. 4.43. Okay.
That's solid. That's solid, Brady.
Respectable.
That's a veteran score.
What? If you're looking for this page on Denise Gomes, it can be found on our sister site, WikiFeed X. Warning, WikiFeed X, it contains adult content?
Well, I don't get it.
Oh, this is Denise Gomez, not Denise Gomes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know who Denise Gomez is. I just know Gomes.
They don't have Denise Gomes then. Yeah, that sucks.
Really?
No, which is they have Carol Hoza, which is her girlfriend. We could look at Carol Hoza's feed.
Yeah.
They have Carol Hoza. She's at a 3.63. Oh God.
Oh God, and her last haircut was a 0.01.
Oh God, yeah. Sickening. So they have a sister site. They have WikiFeed X. That's very interesting.
Okay. Good
and then
to know.
They have a brother site called WikiFeed Men, which I know our guy Lucisoli's on there a lot.
Yeah, he is. Who's a lusty lad.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Love the timing of the Sunday. Appreciate that. We got Rude Boy. What's up? And did Douglas go immediately blind when it broke? Some stories out there. Yeah, geez. I mean, Emmer's timed the perfect shot.
Mm-hmm.
Who is more excited? This is a good question. Umar Ankalaev. Who's more exciting? I think it's got to be Umar. Not by a lot, but I think it's got to be Umar. I mean, Ankalaev.
It might be Ankalaev, dude.
Oh, God.
It might be Ankalaev. I mean, like Umar, Ankalaev, a lot of these guys, I mean, they've got the personality of a brick wall. They don't speak English, like and their fight styles are just, they don't rush. They have no urgency. They're technically perfect. So they don't find themselves in chances or in situations where they have to take chances. And so they don't.
Just sickening.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Umar's UFC run has been utterly forgettable. It's just bad, man. It's just very bad. Umar is more boring. They're both just so boring. I never want to watch him fight ever again. I never want to watch him fight ever again. I was literally calling for the UFC to cut Umar, which is crazy because he's probably the second or third best fighter in the division. But God, nobody wants to watch this. Nobody wants to watch Umar Nurmagomedov. Are there any Umar Nurmagomedov fans out there? Do you think? I don't think
they're all over Dagestan, I'm sure, dude. I mean, like
outside of Dagestan.
Yeah, I don't know how many. Abu Dhabi, sure. You know,
Oh,
any
yeah.
place there's a Muslim population, I'm sure they're loving the fact that this guy is one of the best fighters in the damn organization. Like we've talked about it so many times, Brady. What's the mark of a dominant fighter? It's a fighter that's defensively extremely responsible. That's how you be dominant. You don't get dominant by marauding and being like Mason Jones and just walking people down and with your chin up in the air and just hoping that your chin lasts longer than theirs. You
Yeah.
don't take damage. You wrestle when it's open. You stay at distance striking range and touch, move. And then when they get aggressive, you shoot a takedown and put them on their back. It's not fun to watch. It's not exciting. And these guys couldn't make people excited if they got on the mic for all the money in the world. But what they can do is fight at an extremely high level, be extremely technical, very defensively responsible, and go out there and underperform how technically excellent they are because they never have to take chances.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to shit on him though, because
Yeah.
I mean he's one of the top 5 fighters in any weight class in this fucking organization. He's that good of a fighter. It's just that his fights suck. I mean, like when you're dragging Beksat fucking Almacan to decision as a minus 1,300 favorite, you know, that's pathetic.
Nate
And
Maness.
first of all, he should have never even been taking a fight against Beksat Almacan. That dude was 40 rungs on the ladder below him. But it goes to show you, like, these guys, they show up once a year. They never take a fight, even if they have a hangnail. They have to be 100% healthy. They have to have a fucking 8-week camp. You know, and then they go out there against Davison Figueiredo, who's got nothing left in the tank, as a minus 1,600 fucking favorite, and show no urgency for the entire 15 minutes and literally drive most of the crowd to drink.
Yeah, it is terrible, man. I don't want to watch Umar fight at 10 p.m., let alone at 5 a.m. It's gonna be tough to stay up. I might need some coffee or something once the main event starts. But all right, let's get into the main event. Before we do so, if you guys could smash the like button for us, let's see if we're at 100 likes. Let's take a look. We are at, there we go, 110. So thank you guys.
That's not bad, dude. That's not bad.
Not bad. For Shanghai, that's not bad at all, man. It's not bad. So we appreciate you guys. Subscribe. We go live every Sunday, 7:15. We've been doing the fight companions on Contender Series at Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. All right, main event. We got Umar Nurmagomedov going against Song Yadong, and we can keep this short and sweet, Wheezy. I think it's probably Umar. He's a big favorite, minus 500. Probably makes it boring and unwatchable. You know, mixes in the takedowns, mixes in the wrestling. He probably keeps the striking close just due to the threat of the takedown, and it's probably an Umar decision there. And it's probably not a lick of excitement during the 25-minute duration. What are your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I think this will probably be the time when Umar finishes because he's pissed us off so many times not finishing guys that we thought he should. And then now when it's like, oh, this guy's Song Yadong, he's super durable. There's no way he's finishing him. Everybody's going to be on Umar by decision, and he's going to go out there and he's going to knock this fool out. I'm telling you, man, like this guy has got an absolute knack for pissing people off. People hate this guy.
Yeah.
You know. And he what is he? He's 8-1 in the UFC. This guy's barely lost a round. I mean, he's lost 3 rounds out of a 5-round fight to Marab, and 2 of those 3 rounds were extremely close. And this guy doesn't lose rounds against anybody, you know? I mean, he's just going out there and dominating, and you would think that he would at some point, like there would be somebody in his corner, somebody that is going to help profit from this guy's success that would tell him, hey, man, how about you show some fucking urgency? You know, you're one of the best fighters in this organization and people can't stand you. I'm taking a week off because it's a fucking Umar Nurmagomedov main event because, you know, I don't see any reason to gamble on it because this guy will find a finish when you're finally sick of him waiting for him to find a finish against guys that he should be finishing. So, like, I think the bet of the year this year is going to be the one that pisses everybody off. And it's going to have everybody putting their head into the oven, their fist through the wall. and it's going to be fucking Umar Nurmagomedov finding an early finish in this fight, probably, just to be a dick.
Yeah, that'd be a
just
dick.
so we hate him even more because he becomes less predictable. He shows urgency when we think he's not. He shows no urgency when he should be finishing guys that are completely washed or way below his level. So plus 183, under 4.5 rounds. And then not only will we be cheering a fat cash at plus 183, Brady, but we'll be also not having to watch 25 minutes of technical excellence of Umar Nurmagomedov doing nothing but absorbing no damage in the fight.
Yeah, I don't even know what a Umar finish would even look like at this point. Like, sometimes you try to picture something in your head. I can't. I don't even know what that looks like. I don't know. I mean, that would piss a lot of people off because I don't think anybody's gonna be betting Umar to finish anybody after he took the corpse of Figgy 15 and took the corpse of Nate Maness, or he took the corpse, of Nate Maness 15 too.
Nate Maness, and like Nate Maness dragged Jimmy Flick to decision, and they fucking cut him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about that, right? I mean, Nate Maness was 4-2 in the UFC, and the 2 losses that he took were to undefeated fighters. You know, I mean, like he took tough fights, and they cut him for not finishing Jimmy Flick. But yet we're going to watch this guy, Umar, until he's 15, 16-1, go out there and stink out the fucking place and just put on unwatchable fights.
Yeah, I wish they would just cut him. You know, who cares? It's not like
you cut Muhammad Makayev.
Yeah, just
cut him to fucking PFL, and nobody will give a shit about his fights.
Yeah, nobody cares, man. Just cut him, dude. But yeah, since he's we might get some we might go international on the next fight companion at least. People love these like the Umar Nurmagomedovs and stuff like that. So
yeah,
might get some go international again. These guys are the GOATs. We got Scott. Thanks for the content, guys. Couldn't imagine enjoying UFC without you both. Appreciate that, Scott. Song Into the Distance, decision, no action. I'm curious what they're going to put that at. Fight goes to disappointment. It could be a parlay piece this week. That's something I might put down this week, Wheezy.
Yeah.
Fight goes to disappointment. Umar bad habit of dipping right into southpaws. Maybe Song finds it, but Umar decision. Yeah. Besides Bilal Rojas, this whole card seriously needs an Uncle Easy story. It needs something, man. Umar sub. Umar by dry hump. Quite the contrarian underspot will probably be a big number. It's like plus 185. I want to see Umar versus O'Malley. I don't want to see Umar versus anybody, but yeah, that'd be intriguing. I'm betting the over in the main event in Nurmagomedov by decision. I think a lot of people will be doing that. All right. And what's up? All right. The most sober Nevada is commission judge.
Drinking a 40.
Oh, God.
Which would make him the most sober.
Yeah, you got that right. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take off the 100 gambler. It's time to keep the train rolling, man. We had Anthony Wint to pipe Terrence Chapman on site. It was not a piping. It was a milking. You know, there were 2 milkings. So it wasn't a perfect pick, but it was a good pick. But this was perfect. And the milk of the week was Renier DeRitter to milk Delidze. Delidze, pulled guard, covered up, and DeRitter just milked him until the ref finally stopped the fight. So the milking was perfect. The piping was near perfect, I'd say. So let's keep it rolling. As always, Weezy's going to give 2 options. I'm going to give 2 options. Then we're going to let the chat decide who's going to pipe their opponent on site. So Weezy, who is your first option? Who is going to pipe their opponent on site?
I'm going to go with Kai Asakura to pipe Aori Kwai Lang on site.
Kai Asakura. All right, let me pull it up here. I'm going to go with there's not a ton of options. Oh, I'll go. No, God, there's not really a ton. I'll go with C. Louis to pipe up Levy Rodriguez. I guess it's that kind of week. I'm taking a 3-1 MMA fighter to be a potential piping. All right, next one, Wheezy.
Okay, I will go with Ding Meng to Murad on this Canadian guy who's fighting on the Nova Scotia regional scene in an organization that I have never heard of, where he wins the belt at 170 pounds against a bantamweight. So
Oh,
I'm going with the Marauder Ding Ming in China to go out there and find a piping on site, and that will leave the last option, which Brady is going to pick, as Bilal Hassan to pipe whoever the hell the guy he's fighting is. Nilson Rojas.
Yeah. Bilal Hassan. God, these are some god-awful options, man. I mean, this is terrible. This is so bad. All right, so bet on the piping of the week. And while you guys do that, we're going to talk about hopefully some underdog, Wheezy.
Yeah.
So we'll pull up some underdog. And the best way to support the show is checking out Underdog Fantasy, going there and putting in code DFSBTN on your first sign up. And you're going to get $50 when you play with your first $5 lineup. We've had only 2 signups this month, which we're on pace for the worst month ever. It's kind of embarrassing how bad this month has been. So if you guys have friends, family, loved ones, it's available in 40 out of the 50 states. I'm not going to name all 40 states, but there's an 80% chance it's available for you. So check it out. Help us out. Go get that bonus. It's $50 free. There's really no downside. I mean, you get 50 free bucks. Put in a $5 lineup. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. So check that out. Wheezy, do they have anything for underdog this week? Last week they didn't, and I don't blame them if they have nothing this week as well. So
they do.
Whoa.
Yeah, we've got everything here. We got fight time. We got significant strikes. We got fight picks.
Oh my god!
And I mean, I think there were some spots that we were looking at here. For instance, how about Andre Lima lower than 12 and a half minutes of fight time against this Batbayar guy?
Yeah, I like that.
Batbayar's never seen a decision. It's not like Andre Lima is going to be easy to finish, and he doesn't show a ton of urgency. But I mean, Lima's very dangerous on the ground, and he hits extremely hard on the feet. So I could see that being a good look this week. And then, I mean, like Ding Meng, lower than 12 and a half minutes of fight time against this guy Nelson, who, I mean, like, this guy lost a split decision to a 5-5 guy. Meng's a marauder. He's going to push forward, and he's got 26 wins by knockout. So, maybe that's a good one. What about fight picks? What can we do with fight picks? Yeah, you can bet like money lines on some of these too, man.
Yeah,
they're letting people do that. I love it.
I'll go with the lower on the either the Saruya or the Asakura, whichever one's the better price. Fight time.
Asakura is 0.79, and what was the other one you said?
Either Asakura or Saruya, whichever one's a better price, I'll go with.
Yeah, Saruya is 0.81, so that's better. So let's do Saruya lower than 12.5 minutes of fight time, and I'll do Andre Lima lower than 12.5 minutes of fight time. I'm going to count on him to show some urgency because I think that he's not going to have a choice. Batbayar is not going to run away from him. So if we were to put the 30% boost on that, that's 2.85x.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
like it.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of money on that.
I like it. I like
it too, man.
Violent spots. Should have a fire lit under his butt after the Boros fight. So
yeah, you can get a 30% boost, and you can get $50 in bonus funds when you pay your first $5 with DFSBTN as the code when you sign up. Best way to support this show.
Heck yeah. Appreciate that. That was crazy. A win to get the most takedowns was plus 200. I couldn't really believe my eyes. I couldn't really believe my eyes at all.
That was a great look, man. Some of those takedown props and the significant strike props, I'm gonna have to start taking a closer look at those and doing content based on that for my probability show, because those are some of the markets that haven't been washed out yet with the sharps.
Yeah. Should we rip cards? Weezy, what do you think?
Or
should we just?
Yeah, let's. Why don't we do it?
All right, we can rip card. I know it's a fun. I know. I like it too. All right, we'll rip some cards. Before we do that, wow, it's really not even close. All right, in last place is C. Louis at 3%, the Chinese kickboxing champion. Have some respect. This guy's a Chinese kickboxing champion with great leg kicks. Only 3%, guys.
Wow.
In third place, Bilal Nelson at 8%. Second place is Ding Ming at 28%, and then first place is Kai Asakura at 61%. So Kai Asakura is the piping of the week.
I love it. I think that's a good one, man.
To pipe going on site. All right. And now it is time for the milking. We usually get two options. I'll get two options, and we'll let them vote, and then we'll rip some cards while they vote.
All right. Milking Umar Nurmagomedov is my first choice.
Oh, they're going to milk the fans. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Umar Nurmagomedov to milk Song Yadong. All right. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Ray Saruya to milk Kevin Borjas.
Yep. And then I'm going to go with Lawrence Louis to milk Hector Santiago, because that's going to be his path. Santiago's a striker, going to be walking him down. Louis is going to want to get takedowns in top time.
Yep. That's his path. And then in terms of other milking, Magomedov there. I'm going to go Andre Lima to potentially, walk out with that black belt this time and actually use it against Batfire and milk him down the stretch. Andre Lima. So that's 4 options there. Andre Lima. How do you spell Saruya?
TsuruyA.
Okay. All right. So you guys can vote there. And then while we vote for the milking, we will pull some cards. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Hopefully Umar milks the PFL. Yeah, hopefully they get him out of the UFC, man. I've seen enough. Man. Did I miss the whole thing?
Pretty
no.
much.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're about done. We're just gonna rip some cards. My Wi-Fi is so butt. It's taking forever. Add Nelson to the milking. Yeah, if anybody bets on that fight, they need to get some help. I mean, Ding Ming stinks, and Nelson's fought 40-year-old bantamweights. It's a horrible fight. Come on, Cody Stamen. Come on. Is it ready? No, it's not ready yet.
Oh my God.
Might just do it next time if it's gonna take this long. Oh,
yeah, geez, the site, maybe that's why we haven't gotten any from them.
Yeah, it's not even working right now. So we'll have to do it next time, guys.
Yeah.
I think I have to update my browser. I think that's the problem. So, and I don't have time for that. So we'll do it next time. All right. So let's go to the milking. And yeah, not really that close. Last place, Andre Lima, 12%. Two-way tie for last place. Andre Lima and Lawrence Louis at 12%. Umar Nurmagomedov 24%, and then Ray Saruya 52%. So Ray Saruya is the milking of the week.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, he's definitely the best grappler out of all of them.
Ray Saruya. There we go. Ray Saruya. Sorry about the cards, guy. I don't know what's going on. It's not working though. But yeah, we're about 2 hours and 30 minutes in, which is 30 minutes longer than we were supposed to go tonight. So, Wheezy, let the people know what you got going on and where they can find you. You are now adventuring to other platforms again.
Yeah. So my probability stats and content package was previously only available on Odds Shopper. Now it's going to be available again on Dub Club and Patreon, and I'm going to be looking for other places to put it as well to get it more of a reach to MMA fans who are looking for, independent research to help them make better decisions on their UFC betting. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter at MMA Wheezy. You can find me on YouTube and Rumble, Uncle Wheezy. Find me on Odd Shopper, on Patreon, on Dub Club. I'm looking forward to stacking cashed tickets like flapjacks for not this card, but every other card for the rest of the year because I'm taking this week off. I'm going to definitely try to rebuild my business and do some things marketing wise and visually for my presentations to make everything a little bit better. And yeah, I mean, like it's a 20-week stretch. So I'm giving myself a week off in the middle of it because the UFC kind of took a week off in terms of trying to give us compelling fights to watch and bet on. So yeah, gonna have a nice week off this week. Just got married on Saturday, Brady. So gonna, have a little fun with my wife.
Yeah, enjoy it, man. You gotta enjoy it. It's better than taping Ding Ming. I mean, that was awful. That ruined my whole day. Was taping Ding Ming.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was very bad. So, all right, guys, we got to head out. We've spent too long on this card. Tune into the Fight Companion on Tuesday for Dana White's Contender Series. I dropped my breakdown for that. Drop my breakdown for Shanghai, and then tune into the Fight Companion at 3:00 in the morning. Best of luck, guys, for UFC Shanghai. We will talk to you later, and see ya.